Business as usual.
I'll be looking at me like that. I'll be looking at me like that. Motherfucker looking at me like that.
BAM!
How about that? I guess you guys are.
Good morning.
Not yet.
Oh.
It's loading. Try to do something
I guess
right.
the music came on first.
You try to do something right by starting on time, and it ain't happening.
Well, here it is.
Whoa!
There we go.
That's
There
why
it is.
we call it Flip It Friday.
Yes.
Because we don't give a flip about how professional
We
the
don't
show
know how
looks.
to do the flip.
We don't care how professional we look or sound or anything.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, Mega George and everyone else around the world through the World Wide Web. This is the Morning Roast for Flip It Friday, May 17th,
Stop,
2013.
Eric. What if there are alien life forms out there watching our show? That's beyond our world. Throughout the world and the universe.
And we're giving them a target.
We have no idea. We could have an alien from
Ground zero.
some planet out there, moons away, that are tuning into our show.
Either that or they're saying,
I like
hey, look,
it.
there's a bunch of guys
And
just like us.
then,
I just always like to
How much?
dissect.
How much
I just
that
like
clean?
to-
How much that cleaning fluid did you
That's
mess around with?
in the old days. No, no. I just always like to dissect what Derek always says because I'm thinking
Have
he
you been
says we're
sniffing
across the
volleyball
world and the
player?
World Wide Web, and then I think, what if we're beyond the world? What if we're in the other worlds?
why
You're
don't
in
you just
another
say like
What if we-
John Lennon once said,
Right.
we're bigger than Jesus.
Yes. Then I'd get struck down
I
again.
would-
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, Derek.
I don't think
It's
so.
for
This is
Friday.
Flip It Friday, May
Yes.
17th, 2013. It's 8:05 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. You're watching Morning Rose live in the Nut House with Irv, Ant, DB, and Ed. Or Martinez, Harris, Barrett, and Einbinder.
Or as I like to call them and called them yesterday on the Morning Post, we are the Nuts with Guts.
Yes.
I don't know if y'all noticed that yesterday. When
That's
I post,
nice.
You know, every morning I post a little
Yeah,
message to hit the
pre-nut
news,
sacks.
the news feed. I always post the news feed saying the show's about to start, and I remember yesterday I put it on Nuts with
I
Guts.
didn't see that on this morning.
No, yesterday's. It was
Oh,
yesterday's
yes,
already.
okay.
Today I put Flip It Fridays here, and then I gave them a little taste of what we were going to
Yeah.
talk about today.
Yes.
Flipping Friday is here.
That's today.
Exclamation, 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 exclamation.
He gay.
Political,
He gay. He gay.
Read it.
political shenanigans, local arrests and shootings,
Yes, we
trouble
got-
in Fort Campbell,
Local
Kentucky,
erection shooting?
Yes.
Ant's place of birth, plus so much more. Join us by logging on at Vaughn
See,
Live. Blah, it begins at 8.
I'm the only mother chucker that ever does that morning post about
Mhm.
this because I'm trying to get on the
I'm
news
the
feed.
only mother chucker that shares your.
I'm trying to get it on the news
I'm
feed.
the only one that blocks your shit.
That's true. That's true. I try to send it to you.
Yeah,
It says-
exactly.
I got my
It doesn't
wall
He's
allow.
I got my wall block.
It does not allow it.
I got my
That
wall
does
block.
not
Right
allow.
now.
That's
And
my
meanwhile,
wall.
he's the one that
Private
puts out
wall.
all the nasty shit.
It's a private
Right
wall.
now,
I should
it's
put
And
up
it's a
my
sanitary
wall on him.
wall.
It's his wall, and
It is.
I don't want to play.
Could you believe for this
Ed's
Friday?
taking his wall and going home.
Could you
It's a
believe
virgin
it's?
wall. It's
Could
my
you
wall
believe?
and I don't wanna play.
Could you believe it's 57 degrees outside?
Yes.
57 is sunny. making with a high of 88 and a low of 65.
Well, I can tell you something. I got my little thermometer thingy out there, and I put it out there in the sun because it was 101 in the shade, by the way.
101?
In the shade.
What was it?
116 motherfucking degrees at 4:50
Wow.
p.m.
What was
What kind of a
this?
thermometer do you have?
What?
You sure you ain't got one of those cooking thermometers or something?
No, it's a Radio Shack one with a remote sensor outside.
That's broken.
Okay.
It's like, man,
I mean,
that's
come
way
on,
too.
that's way, yeah, 100
That's
and
way
what?
too hot. I wasn't even sweating.
All right.
So what's new, guys? What'd you do yesterday?
I thought about you. How's that?
Oh hell, I'm sorry.
With your hand in your pants.
Sorry about that.
No, actually, I did a lot of those racist videos yesterday.
A whole.
A whole lot of racist video.
When did you do that?
Yesterday.
Where? I didn't see anything
Here,
on that.
right
I
on
was like, dang, do you have anything else to watch? Like,
Oh, you watched them? I thought you shared.
Yeah,
all
like the
over.
band cartoons, the band Bugs Bunny, the band.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I can see why they were banned. I mean,
No, not really. Can you?
yeah, because they make black people look like monkeys in these cartoons. I'm
Which
serious.
ones
Yeah.
in particular?
Well, let's look at Betty Boop for a second, but
Oh, you're going way back.
that's what
You're
I'm
going way
talking
back.
about.
That's back in the 30s and stuff.
You're
Yeah.
going way back.
Actually, in the 40s. 40, and this one's 35,
1930,
but
like
in the
70 years
40s
ago.
as well.
No, 80 years ago.
Yeah,
almost.
then they have Bugs Bunny cartoons
Well,
where they're
because-
making fun of the Japs, and a
Yeah.
Popeye
Oh, they
cartoon
always
where
do
they're making
that.
fun of the Japs.
Because that was the enemy. I mean,
Yeah.
that's World War II. But that also shows that you did that really comedy was not as off limits then as it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, in a way it is. I mean, then they didn't do the sexual humor like they do now.
Right, well,
But
Betty
they
Boop
did
was
this
a
other stuff.
sexual creature, remember that?
Right, but she didn't outright do sexual humor. You didn't hear
No.
you didn't hear comedy in cartoons that just saying the F word all
Mm-hmm.
the time and sex and this and penis and vagina. You know, that didn't
But
go on.
one of them, this one that was a more recent cartoon. You see this? Racism in children's cartoons. This was part of a somebody doing some kind of a lecture on racism and the cartoon industry at that time. But what in this particular cartoon?
Is that a Bugs Bunny one?
Well, it was. This is what Elmer Fudd character came from, and then which a lot of people don't know, Elmer Fudd's character came from a black character, and and they make him look lazy,
Yes.
and they make him look
Stupid.
they can't talk right.
Yeah.
Well, they kept that part because when he turned white, they made him lazy and stupid.
Yeah, if you
also.
listen to his voice. All right, that's Bugs Bunny, but listen to his voice. It talks real slow. But listen to his voice.
Well, he's got the obvious black face. I mean, he's got the white around the mouth.
Anyway, it's funny stuff. I mean, some of it is subtle,
Despite that.
and
yeah.
some of it is
Derek
outright.
says, despite the connotations,
Yes.
it's funny stuff.
Yeah, well,
I still love Bugs Bunny cartoons and always will. It's the best cartoons ever in existence.
Yeah, Winchester said it's been around forever. See the movie Bamboozle. Yeah, that was a Spike Lee movie that came out in the early 2000s.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you, I know there was a time in this country when people did that more so. But I think if you really dig up, you're going to find all types being made fun of. Like you said, the Japs are made fun of. They used to make
Japanese,
fun of
the
Germans.
Germans,
They made
oh,
fun of
big
the
time.
Germans. I mean, if you look it up, you're going to really find everybody being made fun of. And it's just kind of, I just kind of
It
let
just shows the sign of the
well,
time.
exactly. That's
it's
exactly
a
what
time
I was going to
capsule
say. I
to
just
me.
kind of move on with it. It's like you can't do anything about it. You can't go back and erase all these cartoons, you know.
No,
So,
no.
I mean, it's like...
No,
yeah.
no one's saying that. What I'm just saying is how the time capsule has been captured in cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
And you know, you look at those old band movies of where they're racist against the Germans. You have to figure, you know, a little German kid looking at this during that time, and I'm watching it where it's almost irrelevant to me now. See what I'm saying? I'm not worried about Hitler anymore. But imagine the little kid watching that cartoon.
But they still do it now. I mean, nowadays, the one.
Well, I don't see cartoons bringing up Saddam Hussein.
No, but other people do. I mean, you have comedians making fun of Muslims.
No, I'm talking about cartoons.
No, I'm talking about in media and in general. I'm talking about in our entertainment industry.
Then we lose the focus of the whole point.
Because, like we said before on the show, there's that ventriloquist who has the whole Muslim ventriloquist dummy.
Oh, you're talking about Jeff Dunham?
That he makes fun of, right? I mean, the point is it's a time. It's exactly, you're right. It's a time period. It's just the way society was at the time.
Right.
Now, the new one that's okay to make fun of are Muslims, right? And terrorists, and those type, and towel heads, or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
When you see people doing that now, you don't have a hell of a lot of uproar about it, do you? I mean, you have it from the Muslim community, but you don't have it from the general population of America.
Well, at least not in America.
Yeah,
right.
You don't have Americans going, oh my God, that guy is making fun of a guy that looks like a member of the Taliban. You don't have people bitching about it.
To be honest, though, he doesn't. I mean, he's basically the Ahmed, the terrorist character. He really doesn't have like any features. He's basically a skeleton of a dead Taliban terrorist.
But we know what it means. I mean, we know what it means.
Because he's kind of
that's like saying, Derek, but that's like saying you were a dummy back in the 50s and 40s. You're a ventriloquist, you have a dummy, and your dummy's a skeleton, but it's supposed to represent a black guy that was lynched from a tree. I mean, you know, it doesn't change it, is what you know what I mean? It doesn't change it. Just because you're a skeleton dummy, but you're Ahmed the terrorist, you're still making fun of, you know what you're making fun of.
Well, yeah.
You know, so my point is that it's going to always happen because every time period has its day in the sun where something is okay to make fun of, and the country bands together and joins in on making fun of it because they're our enemy, right? That's it, basically. Yeah. That's it. It was okay to make fun of the Russians in the 80s, right? The Cold War.
And that's the thing. The Russians were made fun of in Bullwinkle.
Yeah.
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Natasha and
Boris in the time.
During that time, once again, in cartoons.
That's right. Yeah, we'll capture the moose in school.
Not so much in general. In general, I'm not talking about artists painting the shit or dances created or books written. I'm talking about cartoons. That's what I'm talking about. You could find a lot of the time in a time capsule.
Oh yeah.
In cartoons.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of what I discovered yesterday in some weird way. And cartoons.
But you had to have already known that.
Pardon?
Being 51 years old, you had to have already known that.
I probably did, but I was enjoying it yesterday.
Right.
I was really enjoying it. Like, okay, let me see if I can find something that talks about this at that time.
Right.
Like, there's cartoons that were made in the 30s, which we're talking about Hitler time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, real heavy Hitler time. Then the 40s are more Japanese and...
Well, you remember they also made fun of the gangsters. There's the Bugs Bunny cartoons where you have like Edward G. Robinson's character. Yeah, you see, you know, and he's beating the hell out of them.
Right.
So you already, I mean, you can start getting into, hey, you're making fun of Italians, right? You're making fun of Germans. You're making fun of Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what they saw it as is it's okay to make fun of people that in the time period they saw as lower levels of human beings. I mean, maybe that.
What do you mean? Are you talking about the gangsters?
All of them. I mean, in the mindset of the time, it was people that was looked at as being lower on the
possibly
sort of scale,
yeah. Well, you have the black man, or you have the
Japanese, the Russian, the Native
I see where you're going with this.
I mean, who knows? I think stuff like that makes us dwell on racism.
I think going back to them and looking at them helps you understand.
But we already know that.
Where not a lot of people even know why they're racist. They're racist because people tell them to be. They don't even know why.
I mean, hell, start watching after the show today, Irvin. Start pulling up old Al Jolson videos.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, that guy was doing blackface. I mean,
And he was a Jew.
And then, yeah, so I mean, you know, you could start going all into that as well. From
Yeah.
that time period. So.
Yeah, well, if you look at this one, Scrub Me Mama with the Boogie Beat.
Oh,
And
geez, man, please.
I'm serious. That one alone.
I got some. You can look up Coal Black and the Seven Dwarves. Not seven. I remember watching that back on TBS when it was like, you know, they showed it on Saturday mornings. This is back during the 70s.
Wow.
They
Yeah.
stopped showing it because I don't know why. I don't know how in the world they got away with playing that on TBS because Atlanta's a predominantly black city.
Well,
but
because
Right.
the 70s were less politically correct.
Well, I remember seeing this on television, and especially with the dog when he goes, wow, wow. What they show is really the black people as lazy. They're all laying around in slow motion.
Yeah.
In this one, and this beautiful woman arrives, and she gets them all dancing around.
Yeah, but there was this one I remember it was supposed to be like a black spoof of Walt Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It was called Coal Black and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
and what did they do in that one?
Lazy Town is
Was
the
it
name of
basically
this.
the same story as
Yeah.
Snow White?
Yeah, basically, you know,
But they were all black?
Yeah,
Okay.
and she was called Coal Black because she was dark. They were
Instead of
dark
Snow
skinned.
White, right.
And then
Cold
you
black.
know, spoiler alert. You know, she doesn't
Spoiler
get
alert.
kissed by Prince Charm. She gets kissed by Dopey. But anyway,
Wow. Anyway, look.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is really. I was surprised that this cartoon was on television, and it used to be.
But
Yeah.
you shouldn't be surprised. Not at the
No,
time
I
period.
mean, during my
At the time
day,
period,
I mean-
you shouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I know
she's
yeah.
blowing in and out like a chicken. It's all the stereotypes,
right,
right?
right.
And the name of the town is
But you laughed, right?
Lazy Town.
You laughed. Admit
Yes.
it.
Look,
You
look,
find-
look at the dog. Even the dog is
You
lazy.
find it funny, right, Irvin?
Wow.
Did you find it funny, Irvin? Did you laugh watching these yesterday?
Yes.
See, that's why I still think comedy has no boundaries. I think you can make fun of everything as long as you do it equally.
Mm-hmm.
Make fun of it all.
Yeah. Have a good time.
Speaking of comedy, there were NBC played the final episode of The Office last night. The series
Thank you,
finale.
Jesus.
Obviously
I
not a
never
fan.
watched that show. And I don't
After
care.
that guy left, that show went to hell.
I never watched it. So
But
how did
that
it go
new
for
guy
you,
was
Derek? Did you
annoying.
watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Was it worth
great.
it all?
Yes, it was.
Did it bring
worth
the show to the end like you wanted it to?
Yes, it brought the show then like on. There were some parts that was like really
You
crazy.
feel like a more fulfilled person now?
yes,
Okay.
yes, I do.
he
Yes, I
feels
do.
like he can continue.
He
his
knows
life.
he,
The
he'll know how to
Office has
handle
done that.
himself in
Yes.
an office now.
Right.
Yes. The remote control was definitely busy because I was flipping between watching, you know, watching that and Impact Wrestling on Spike TV. You know, yeah, brother, because Hulk Hogan's like the general manager of that company, and you know, he's trying to like have this battle between the aces of eights. You know, that type.
Is
of
that
stuff.
what he was talking about yesterday on that channel?
Yeah, on Thursday.
Was he
nights.
out? Was he out in his Hulk shirt and?
Well, yeah. He doesn't wrestle as much because he's general manager. He doesn't have to do the wrestling and stuff. But you know, they had some good matches on there last night. None comes to mind that quickly, but you know, there was some good because I was flipping between that, watching The Office, and watching Impact Wrestling, as well as watching the season finale of American Idol.
So you don't have a DVR?
No
No,
DVR.
because Derek's doing the old school. I'm switching between 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, they had.
That's really ADD.
Yes, I was watching.
Well, it helps you.
Those who didn't know, Candace won. So anyway, who didn't see
Candace won.
So she's the first female winner of the American Idol in 5 years.
Yay!
5 years, like
I'm
last
excited.
5 years, yes.
Yeah.
Because she's the first female American Idol win since Jordan Sparks. So.
Yeah,
Good.
you see? Yeah. That's
And also there was the season finale of Scandal, which was really, really a wing dang doodle of a show.
Well,
Is that a big deal,
hopefully
too?
that new American.
See, I don't watch these shows, so I'm lost, and I don't care whether you spoil it for me. Go ahead and spoil it for me. What the hell happened in Scandal?
Well-
Everybody's like, spoiler, don't spoil it. No,
Well,
spoil it. I don't
basically
watch
spoil
it. What
it.
happened?
Okay, Kerry
I have no
Washington-
clue what's going on.
Kerry
Tell
Washington
me.
is confronted by this guy who's part of
I've already lost. Who is?
B613.
Who's confronted by who?
Olivia Pope, who was
What the hell is this show about? The White House?
Yeah, it's about the White
Okay,
House. It's kind of
okay.
like a little bit of the West Wing with a pinch of 24 on it.
Okay.
Instead of just not in 24 hours.
Okay.
And there's
Does
a lot
the president in this
It's awful.
does the president in this really resemble Barack Obama?
No, he's probably more like a smarter version of George W. Bush.
Okay.
Because
okay.
the person who wrote it was basically because the person who's involved is basically a black woman, Olivia Pope, this African American female.
What is she in the show?
She's a presidential aide.
Okay.
She's a presidential aide her character has a secret affair with the president of the United States.
Ah.
So it's more like the Clinton era.
Yeah, more or less.
Because they always said Clinton was the first black president, and they got like him. This guy's cheat with a black aide.
So she gets so
Yeah,
the
but see, it's
premise
really-
is that woman who is an aide to the president
Yeah.
gave him a blowjob, and then what else?
Well, they did more than just. She basically, I mean, full booty call. I mean, she's like a chocolate version of Monica Lewinsky, except she has a full-time government job instead of being an intern. And a couple of episodes, the first lady was going to put him on. Actually, she did put him on blast, and like, I have a special report. My husband, the president of the United States, is cheating on me. Blah blah.
Oh, hell. So what was the big warning? If you watch this show online, chatters, viewers, and you don't know what happened yet, you don't want to know, leave the room, turn off your computer for about 35 seconds.
Okay.
Child
So what the
wanted
hell
his
was?
son.
Hello, Heather. So what the hell was the big shocking scandal at the
The
end of
big
this show?
shocking thing was basically she's confronted by one of the members of B613, this supposedly this secret branch of the CIA or some government who was trying to keep the scandals, nip it in the bud, so to speak. And one of them, she had an affair with one, so she had not affair with not one but two guys. And the thing,
So that was the big.
well, not just that, but someone was trying to kill her, and then someone from B613 was trying to kill her, and then then she found out who it was. One of the guys from B613. She basically goes out jogging, like they quashed the scandal of her,
Right.
the first lady and the president got back together. They kept their marriage going, and someone, had wanted to bring out another scandal. Like, if you don't do this, you don't have me as your new running mate, your new vice president. I'm going to tell the story that you basically had some type of SD card to help rig the election in your favor, and blah blah. And
Are we still talking about
Yes,
the show?
yes,
oh
I
my
am.
God.
Yeah, I asked
it's
about
not.
it.
Wait a minute here. It's
I-
not even
Jeez.
real.
No,
I'm
but
talking
I
all
asked
this
them.
bullshit.
People have
asked
been
them.
watching it. People have been watching
Right.
it for a
And
while.
I
Not even
want-
real.
Wait,
Let's talk
whose day-
fantasy.
Whose day is it today?
Whose day?
Yeah, whose
Ain't
day?
nobody's
17th.
day. May
Whose
17th.
day?
Trent Reznor's day.
It's Derek's day.
No, I want to hear because I asked what
Okay,
the big
bottom-
freaking
sorry.
The big
idiot was.
freaking, I mean, a whole lot of other stuff. Okay.
No one cares about your racist cartoons, Irvin. What the hell are you
No,
talking
no,
about?
I have a story, but it doesn't
got
matter.
The
I
thing
thought
is,
we were
the
talking
thing is, he
real.
found out that
Eric's got a story.
Olivia finds out after received a death threat, 2 death threats.
Yes.
She finds out she's just before she's kidnapped into a limo.
Oh, come on already. Get over it.
She finds out that one of the B16 members is her dad.
Oh, so it's the old Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader
Yes.
thing. Okay, that's not very original.
Olivia, and she's like,
That's not
Dad?
that's not very original.
'Cause she had the
And that's so shocking to
But
everybody.
well, it's not so shocking, but it's just people just.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I mean,
People
come
are
on.
easily
The
entertained
majority of
nowadays.
the majority of the people watching it are just usually women, especially I hate to say it.
So are you calling
people-
out our women? Are you saying the women are not smart enough to know about all this?
No, I'm just saying that. Well, now that how many black women you know that watch
Put him
Empire
on a
Strikes Back?
controversial edge here.
Because the largest watch,
A lot of nerdy black women do.
Yes, but that's a very
No,
small
but my
number.
point is, okay, so the big, in a nutshell,
Who gives a shit?
yesterday we talked about the nutshell, which protects your cod
Yes.
when you're in battle. In a nutshell, The guy was the girl's father.
Yes.
Oh, great. Okay, that's shocking.
So, which kind of, in a way, which kind of explains why not only why he would be really pissed off at his daughter being the president's.
Yeah, but
mistress.
once again, it's obvious that writers in Hollywood are not very much on their game anymore. They don't write them like they used to.
Yeah, all these nerdy kids
Well,
with
it's
big
like-
glasses, and they sit
Well, you
there
imagine these
looking
guys-
and wanting to feel important because
Right.
they got their college degree. They never have real interaction with people. They make these people
Oh,
up
like
like
me,
a bunch of puppets. It's all full of shit. That's why it's got no real substance to it, which is why I can't watch these shows.
I can't watch
They're
it.
horrible.
I can't
the
watch it
acting
either.
is bad.
I
The
can't.
dialogue is predictable. All of
The
it. is
writing's
stupid.
the writing's obviously predictable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it almost seems like the person that wrote this show just said, "Hey, I'm gonna pull the old Empire Strikes Back with this."
Yeah.
I mean, come
Now, there's one show that I like, which is the one that Ed shares with me about
Person
that
of
guy.
interest.
Yeah, what's it called?
Person of interest.
That was
Yeah,
probably
Person
written-
of Interest.
That's probably written
See,
badly, too.
that's kind of a twisted show that you're wondering the connections, and it's kind of it sucks you in. But to have a soap opera about somebody screwing somebody, and now they're gonna have
the
the
president-
baby.
not just somebody, the
My
president of the
mother
United
used to
States.
sit down. I used to watch the Spanish novels with my mother.
The telenovelas.
The
Yes.
telenovela. And I watched like
years old.
7 of them. 7 of those novellas throughout my life. Spanish ones. So I used to watch Spanish novels. Right? And they were so dramatic. Everybody was screaming. Everybody was dying.
Lots
Everybody
of
was
makeup.
treacherous.
Lots of
It
makeup.
didn't teach me anything but not to trust people.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
you should already know that anyway.
You don't
I
need a
mean-
soap opera for that.
Yeah, we don't know. That.
I live in a soap opera. What are you talking
You
about?
know we don't trust people.
Yeah, so there was a, I guess, season finale for Elementary on CBS, supposed to the modern day version of
And how did that end?
Well, basically,
Did Holmes tell Watson, "I'm your mother"?
no.
Okay,
I
what the
mean,
hell happened
basically, Sherlock Holmes had to fake his own death to keep from Moriarty from.
Oh,
killing him.
that's original too. Well, so that's basically kind of like the books.
Well, that's what
Because
basically.
that's how they got rid of Sherlock Holmes. Is remember he was fighting Moriarty over there on the big waterfall, and then they both fell into the water.
Yeah.
And then that's how Doyle was trying to kill off Holmes, but then he had such a outcry from the fans of Sherlock Holmes that he had to bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
But originally he wanted to kill him off. So basically, you're saying they killed him off.
Well, no,
Or
he
tried to.
He tried to, but it failed. But basically, the police caught Moriarty because he had like a recording device on him. So, and plus also Watson, Moriarty, just like Watson on the show Elementary, they're both women, both cast by women. So Watson was played by Lucy Liu. You know, she's Watson, and then Moriarty is played also by a woman, a blonde woman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So Moriarty's a woman. I knew Watson was a woman from the commercials, but I never knew Moriarty was. Is Lestrade a woman?
No, I haven't seen Lestrade.
Lestrade was the police commissioner that Sherlock Holmes always had to show up in the books.
No, he's not Lestrade, though, for some reason.
Lestrade was the guy in the books that was always pissed off and thought that Holmes' tactics and techniques did not work, but yet Holmes would always be one step ahead of the police force in solving the crimes.
Okay. I mean, they have a
Lestrade.
commissioner, but he's an Irish guy, but I don't think he's Lestrade.
So he's O. Lestrade.
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
Well, we're getting our entertainment out of the way here.
Mm-hmm.
So, what other shows came to an end yesterday, Derek, for the
That's
season? You've already brought up American Idol,
American Idol,
Elementary,
Scandal.
Scandal. What else came to
The
an end?
Office.
The Office.
The Office.
Mm-hmm.
What was the big shocking climax to The Office?
Well, basically, they just try to follow the British version that it was just one big documentary. And they just had like everyone from the office to watch the documentary. It's like a
So everybody
9-year-long
sat around and it was like clips from the past.
Well, it wasn't exactly clips from the past, but they had like the characters, interacting with each other, and all of them got some of them have different jobs now, and you had like the two, they had the two lovebirds that were in the office who met each other and had gotten married and had kids together. They decided to move to Austin, Texas, and leave Scranton. And
What about the original guy? Did he show up?
Oh, Ricky Gervais. Yeah, he was in there for like about a couple of.
Oh, he did
seconds.
make an appearance, huh?
Yeah.
All right, what
who is
about
he
the
supposed to
second?
be?
No,
Yeah, well, Michael Scott. Well, I mean, Steve Carell's character.
Steve
yeah.
Carell, right?
Yeah,
What-
he was in there because he played the best man to Dwight's in Dwight's wedding. The one with the glasses, Rainn Wilson's character on there.
Yeah, so they brought them all back together and say goodbye.
Mhm.
So it just ended like that? That's it?
I'm sorry, gamer. Go
You're
watch
as
it.
bored as I am.
Watch it
aren't
on
you?
Hulu. Watch it on Hulu. Watch it on Hulu. I'm not gonna say anything else about it. But yeah,
You know, it's just like
they had the
I-
season. They had the season finale of NCIS.
I'm trying to go out and have my own life instead of watch everybody else's life on a TV show. That's what I'm trying
Exactly.
to do.
Well, I would have. Yeah, if I was
I'm,
actually getting.
I'm not
yeah.
trying to find out what Ricky Gervais is doing on The Office or what Lucy Liu's Watson is doing. Okay. Anyway, thank you, Derek. There are people that do like that.
no, actually, it's an interesting segment.
But Scarlett said, and I like to talk about this, Scarlett said that American Idol is pissed about the outcome.
Why are they?
Why did
buying-
you say that, Scarlett? Do you know something we don't?
Well, because they wanted the
Well, let Scarlett answer. I didn't watch. I don't watch it. We only flipped to that show for about 10 minutes yesterday, my wife and I, because a friend of hers, as I told you on yesterday's show, was on there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they had the chorus and the choir singing back up to Mariah Carey and all
Yeah.
those other acts. Well, on the left side, one of the black guys in the glasses was a friend of Heather's named Chaz from Atlanta. Chaz Mason. He's a musician, struggling singer, trying to go out there and get a contract. And apparently he was allowed to be part of the choir in the final episode of American Idol last night. So basically, Heather turned over there to see if we could see him, and we saw him kind of like that, real quick shot of him. And other than that, you know, I don't watch the junk. But what is it, Scarlett? Okay, she says the judges were very opinionated who they felt should win, and I don't think that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, that's why isn't that right, Scarlett?
Is that the bottom one now?
No, Scarlett, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. You're supposed to have an opinion, especially
Yeah.
if you're judging something.
It says, and I believe they influenced who voted. Well, yeah, I'm quite sure. I mean, because
Oh,
Candace
so
won.
Scarlett thinks the other one was a better singer, but because the judges were all about the one that won, that the callers were influenced by that. Is that what you're saying, Scarlett? See, I don't know. I don't know either girl.
I mean,
I
I'm
don't know
trying
how
to.
they
Okay,
sound.
I mean, you had Cree, who was a white female.
What the hell?
and then
What
you
kind
had
of
Candace.
music were they?
Well, they both sung like
What was their genres? Is what I'm
I
asking.
guess R&B or and then like pop, and then her Cree was like pop or slightly country.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Taylor Swift crap.
Yeah,
basically.
Taylor Swift.
Okay.
And then I think Candace won, and Candace won the big black girl. You know.
Well, isn't it
big
all
black
just a
female.
popularity contest, though?
Well, yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, when it comes down to it, we already know that the top 10 or 20 are going to get record deals. Anyway,
You mean to
right?
say that popularity? So even if the winner doesn't have such a good voice,
It's not better, right? It
but
doesn't
they
matter.
like that winner better.
If the votes come into them, exactly. It's like being in high school and you get voted in on your class, you know, whatever, your class president because you're popular. Everybody votes you because you're popular.
So who won?
Candace Glover.
Candace was who? Glover?
She's
Yeah.
the R&B one.
Yeah.
She was the black girl.
She had a good voice, right?
Yes, really
Baby
good.
sister?
But both of
Huh?
them.
Well, they both probably did, but that's my point.
Mhm.
At that point, can you really judge it other than it's a popularity contest? You're going
Was she
by vote.
heavyweight?
Yes.
Okay, so that's endearment to some people,
think
believe
so?
it or not.
Mhm.
You think that is? Well,
Yeah,
they both were they both heavy?
Well, no. I mean, obviously the
black girl
was
was.
much heavier
Was
than
heavier,
the.
okay.
But it just which reminded me of something I was watching a little bit on Entertainment Tonight about you know the renaissance of heavyset women and stuff. Like, are they making a comeback or something? But I mean, that maybe as singers and maybe as actresses. But as far as actresses, they're usually for like comedy relief. They're not usually as the romantic.
It depends
lead,
what
you
you're
know?
calling
Right.
heavyweight. To me, the nice-sized woman that's voluptuous with curves never went out of style. To me, I always
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
they
I always
never
like
went-
that style
I'm
better.
sorry,
I don't like the rail thin.
They'll never go out of
anorexic
style.
No, no.
They'll
Now,
never go out
but
of
if
style.
you're talking heavy set, like Honey Boo Boo's mom.
No.
If you're getting into that,
Or
Yeah.
Gabby
then
Sidibe,
that's
or
a different.
Roseanne Barr, back in the
Right.
day. Yeah.
I mean, so what are you calling him?
I mean, you're like Mama Cass before Mama Boo Boo.
Yeah,
Right.
Mama Cass. Yeah,
Right.
perfect. Yeah,
I mean,
Mama Cass.
that's the difference. Is a woman with size and curves that looks feminine to me is the best look for a woman.
Yes.
Not a rail thin like supermodel. That's
Yeah.
ugly to me.
Or someone obese.
Or
Yeah.
someone
right.
obese.
I mean,
Right.
I know. Granted, no one's not supposed to be. Not everyone's supposed to be skinny, but come on, there's nothing sexy about a heart attack or diabetes
No.
or cardiac arrest. I mean, there's nothing cute about that.
All right, let's do the
Yeah, that's
roster
true.
real quick. I don't think we did the roster yet, did we?
Oh no, we haven't. Just
Welcome,
Because 77 Diaz Photo Guy, Graybeard Shaman,
Edward Mappa.
Edward Mampa, Winchester 9708, Yerrick Wildcat, Gamer Girl, Plastic Canvas, The
Three
Three Bears, T.L. Wilson, Tower of London, and also chatters Ashley 34, Clutch Cargo, and Scarlet.
Yes, welcome.
Very nice.
Well, obviously
Ladies
gives a
and
damn
gentlemen.
because she was watching American Idol as well.
Well, let's face it. I mean,
Welcome.
a lot of people love their TV. I'm not going to take that away from them. I just,
No, if I had a TV and I was into that, maybe I'll get into one show or whatever. But there's that show, I don't even Home something Home.
Home Improvement.
No, that's an old one.
Yeah.
I'm talking about now.
Is it a reality show where they fix your home?
Homeland Security?
No, it's all maybe Home is not in it. Who the hell knows? Anyway, it's a show that has a guy from Love and Marriage. Remember that show?
Oh, Ed O'Neill.
Okay,
Modern Family.
Modern Family.
Okay.
See, I was looking at that show,
Uh-huh.
and it's like someone trying to be funny, but they're not,
Right.
kind of thing.
Well,
like
that's to me the
they're
problem.
That's kind
forcing
of
this
funny.
humor
I actually
down
like
the
it. That was
throat.
actually a funny
To
show.
me, that's the problem with all of modern comedy. I don't find a lot that's funny on TV. Not compared to what we grew up with. I mean,
Right.
what we watched in the 70s and even stuff before
Early
us
80s,
that
yeah.
we watched in reruns, that stuff was funny. Well, I mean, some of the 80s stuff wasn't funny either to me. But today, I just don't find any of those big comedies funny that I ever tried to watch. I did not think Seinfeld was funny. I thought that was annoying as hell. I didn't think Friends was funny.
No,
Okay, I can
didn't
understand.
think-
I can understand.
I just
you're
think it's
not
my-
friends,
I just-
but
my
I
sense of
thought
humor.
I thought Seinfeld was
Brilliant.
brilliant.
I
It was
did
just
not see
great
the-
writing.
I did not see.
So you didn't like
No.
the writer who wrote the character of that Constanza character.
I don't know if I like him personally. I tried to watch
called,
Seinfeld. I tried to watch Seinfeld a couple of times back when it was out, and I just didn't find it funny, and it didn't do anything for me. I don't
Yeah.
know. I just don't.
Well, it wasn't a show for you to just like
I mean-
sit down and watch like that. You had to start it, or you had to follow it.
Yeah, but see, and that's why I don't do this TV now, because I don't want my life to have to center around a bunch of TV shows. Whether it's watching them in person every day when they come on, or whether DVRing them, and it builds up so damn much that you have like 80 damn shows that you got to keep up with, and then you stop having a life. And then
Yeah.
the next thing you know, you're 80 years old, and you did nothing but sit on your ass and watch TV all your life.
That's
And
true.
I just don't. I don't have time for that. That's why I don't start these shows that I have to keep up with. I don't watch Walking Dead. I don't watch Breaking Bad. I don't watch all this crap because I don't want to keep up with it.
Well,
you're
I
right. I
just-
gotta agree with you right there. Good time. I hated Penny's mother. Yeah, she unplugged the iron. I was like, oh no, not the iron. Yeah, that is true though. That I don't know anybody who liked Penny's mom, biological mother, played by Chip Fields, Kim Fields' mom.
Right.
You know,
Is this something about one of the episodes that was in there?
yeah. Basically,
Kind of an
Penny.
inside
Penny
joke?
was yes. Yeah, Penny was played by Janet Jackson, Michael, MJ's little sister. Which, by the way, who had a birthday? Happy belated birthday, Janet. She turned 47. Yeah, she played this abused child on Good Times, and Yuri was talking about that when she come out with the irons. Oh shoot! It was like they was like, don't hear me. It's like that was some cold blooded stuff. I mean, you heard stories about getting abused and stuff,
Right.
but in some parts of the black community, that's called discipline. But you know, I'm just.
That's right, baby.
but I'm talking about the iron. She just unplugged and just started. Oh, no, it's like, and you saw this great big ass iron pin on her back. It's
See,
like, what
and
the
you can't-
hell?
and you can't do that nowadays. You have such an uproar
Oh yeah.
if you
What?
did that.
What?
Scolded someone with an iron.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would be DFAC shows up. They take the kid from you. Your ass goes to jail. You know, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I don't like about modern stuff either.
Yeah.
Is it's too politically correct.
Because man,
I don't like that. I want my humor to go across all boundaries.
I was wondering,
We
man.
opened the show with cartoons, and I'm glad this segues. See, that's why I think Bugs Bunny's still the best cartoons ever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, because I like my humor like that.
I'm trying to figure out how. I want to know. I really feel sorry for Kim Fields' mom because how much hate mail did she get? Because I'm like, I know, Bells. Those had to been millions of American kids and
just a
parents just
character.
watching like
It's
this.
just a
I hope you burn in hell. You know, you burning up Michael Jackson's sister. Oh, Michael and them Tito kick your ass. How dare you burn up Janet Jackson with that iron?
I think somebody's talking about your comment about lazy people sit around doing nothing and that you have no time for
What did it
watching
say?
movies. Gamer Girl says, remember, you are talking to people that are sitting on a computer watching your show.
Also-
so you need us lazy TV watchers. That's Gamer Girl.
Also, I'm a guy sitting here for 3 hours in front of a computer and a screen. I understand that, Gamer Girl, that doing it for a little bit a day is fine. That's fine if you want to set a couple 3 hours to do that. But I just could never be the guy or girl that sits there all day and spends 50% of my day doing that. I just couldn't do that. It's me. It's personal taste.
Well,
Mappa says Walking Dead is good. It's not crap. And it might be good, Mappa.
It is good. And I'm
I
kinda
just don't
yeah.
want to start watching it because I just don't want to worry about having to follow it. I mean, but I'm the same way with the movies I'm an extra in. I rarely go watch the movies that I work on.
Right.
I don't go see them most of the time. I don't care to go see them. I wait for a lot of them to come out on video, and then if I don't have any desire to see it to begin with, I'll fast forward to the spot where I was there and see if I made the cut. And if I don't, then I say, okay, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
outrageous.
There are some movies that not all of my movies that I acted ever actually made it to theaters or even made it on DVD. Some are just still on a shelf somewhere in some office.
Yeah.
And some
All right.
producer.
Well, Greybeard says if reality TV shows is really how the world operates, I'm completely backwards and I need to start lying, cheating, stealing, and backstabbing. Wow.
Yeah.
Kyle
Okay.
London says, Penny, I love Good Times in Sanford. So
Yes, that's a great show.
that's fun
And Gamer Girl agrees.
Talking about, you wanted Boogman, Buffalo Butt to kill Penny's mom. Shoot, everybody wanted to kill Penny's mom. She was up there with Dee from What's Happening. Nobody didn't like Dee or Nelly from Little House on the Prairie. I mean, I'm not saying they're the devil incarnate though.
Nelly.
But Nelly and Dee from What's That? I'm just saying, I'll just say this: if those two girls ended up missing, you would be praying that the Amber Alert system didn't work that day. It's like, come on.
Here's an interesting
Come on,
looking
D. Come on,
comedy.
don't worry about D and Nelly. They'll be all right. Come on, because they probably in the Wilson West shoot. There's plenty of grizzly bears and coyotes to keep them company. Come on, you know.
Well, here's an interesting look
Rattlesnakes and stuff.
from Saibuki. He says, American comedy is all lost on me. And contrary to belief, most Brits don't like Benny Hill. Isn't that funny? My
Oh,
mother
Benny Hill?
loved Benny Hill.
Benny Hill was awesome.
My mother loved Benny Hill. That was weird.
I've got the
One of
complete,
the only comedians
I've
my
got the
mother
com-
loved was Benny Hill.
I've got the complete set on DVD of Benny Hill's career. I do.
You
I have
do?
every episode of
Oh,
Benny Hill.
my God.
I think he started, correct me if I'm wrong, Cybook, he started around 69, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he ran to the 80s. And I've got, it's like a 10 or 12 DVD box set of Benny Hill's shows.
Wow.
He was fabulous.
Benny
My
Hill was
mother
awesome.
adored him.
Benny
When she
Hill was
put
awesome.
on Benny Hill, Benny Hill is on. And that was like watching. She wouldn't, even her novels, she didn't get as
Yeah,
excited
Benny Hill's
over
awesome.
as Benny Hill.
It's great humor. It's crude humor. It's politically
It
correct
always
humor.
made her laugh.
It's silly. I love it.
So Boogie says, comedy evolved past him. Thankful.
Well, of course it did, but Cybuki, you have to have that kind of comedy. There's a place in comedy for Benny Hill comedy. There's a big place for it. You know, you got to have that.
Well, yeah, but Benny Hill went off the air about 25 years ago, so you were
80-something.
watching it with us.
I think it was like mid-'80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, about the mid-'80s, so...
And you know, he died because that CD box, that DVD box set comes with a documentary also. And, you know, he died a very alone man.
A lonely guy?
Well, he was, when they found him dead, he had a little flat in England. He didn't live grandiose. He had a really small, like he had a little apartment in England. And when he died, he just died alone in his apartment. And a buddy of his found his body. His buddy went to visit him one day. No one was answering. They already knew he was kind of a introvert.
A recluse, yeah.
He didn't come out much anyway. He never answered, so then the guy crawled through a window and saw his body sitting there on his
He died young, too.
on his chair, and he loved TV. Benny Hill he was the guy I just said I don't want to be. He loved sitting in front of the TV for hours and watching all kinds of movies, shows. He loved it. He was all about that. And basically the guy found his body on his recliner, sitting in his little chair in front of his TV. And they said like the apartment was full of videotapes, full of all sorts of shows and movies. He just had a huge amount of all that stuff. And that's what he loved to do. He loved it. So, I mean, the guy was kind of, you know, it's what we said on here before. A lot of actors and performers and comedians and musicians, they really are shy people.
Yeah.
When they're off camera.
Yeah.
They really are to themselves. And then, of course, they get on camera and they act like they do.
Well, Saibuki says comedy evolved past him. Yeah, but he had some bits and pieces in his comedy that are I think would be endless for someone else to perform.
Yeah,
and it would still be funny.
Like I said,
and he still makes me laugh.
Yeah, when I bought that CD set about 3 years ago, and I sat there and spent like 3 days a week maybe watching in order those CDs, those DVDs. I keep saying CDs. I was laughing my ass off like I was when I was 9 years old watching it, and 8 years old watching it, just laughing and funny as hell, man.
He says the Benny Hill show was not his best work. So what was?
Well, I'll tell you.
He co-wrote half of the UK comedy. He was a genius, but the Benny Hill show was...
He was in other stuff. He was in the original Italian Job, which is a great movie. I don't like the remake. The original Italian Job, you know, with the three Mini Coopers, the original Mini Coopers, not the new ones. The original Mini Coopers, that they use them as a heist to steal all the gold bullion.
The one where he's jumping over the roofs?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. That's an awesome commercial.
It's a great movie, the original with Michael Caine. Well, Benny Hill is one of Michael Caine's criminal buddies in it.
No
the
kidding.
original. Benny Hill is one of the bad guys, the part of the burglar gang, the theft gang. So yeah, no, there's a lot of movies Benny Hill was in also, besides his own shows. But I like Benny Hill. You know how I loved on the Benny Hill show?
What about Benny Hinn?
Yeah, fuck Benny.
I seen it. I was like, oh, Benny Hill's on. I'm looking. I go, what the fuck?
It's not Benny Hill. You see
That
the
ain't no
ends.
Benny. Yeah, ain't no Benny Hill. I was stoned.
I loved the old guy in Benny Hill.
The old guy.
With
That
the
was my
face.
favorite. Right, with his face.
With-
And he always got in
He was
trouble.
the one that always slapped on the head.
Yeah,
and
slapping
stuff.
on the head.
Yeah.
And there was one scene where the guy like falls flat on his face.
Right.
But like behind the curtain part of
Right.
him. But it was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing.
Right,
It was
right.
I swear to God,
Right.
it tickled me where I was like, I kept laughing just
Right.
thinking about it.
It's funny, man. It's funny.
Yeah, he was
Woo!
good. Benny Hill was hysterical.
Benny Hill.
Saibuki, what do you like as comedy? Who are some of your comedy idols?
Do you like Ricky Gervais? Just asking.
Saibuki says he does not see the old guy in Irv.
No, do you not see the old guy in her?
Every mama said, was
In
he
other
in
words,
Shitty Bang Bang?
I do.
Shitty Bang Bang Bang.
Winchester, see, I don't like the remake of. I don't like remakes as a whole to begin with, and I know Donnie Curry wishes he was on right now because once he's talking about movies and remakes, Donnie Curry would call in about 8 times, and he still will probably. And that's fine, Donnie. Go ahead. But I don't like remakes as a whole. And I grew up with the original Italian Job because it was one of my dad's favorite movies. And so my dad had it on video. We used to watch it. And then when they remade that, I was like, oh, hell no, don't remake that movie.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. See, my dad used to have an original Mini Cooper. The original,
Really?
Yeah, we used to have a red one with the black top. And we still have his. My dad's passed away now, but we still do have his Austin Healey Sprite. My brother has it, which is like a little 1961. We call it the Frog because it's green. It's a green car. But yeah, the Austin Healey Sprite and a Mini. My dad used to have an original Mini Cooper. And I love those cars. I mean, the new ones don't do them justice.
Yeah, Sabuka says, Ricky Gervais is good at stand-up, but his sketch shows are not so good. Well,
I don't see. There's something about Ricky Gervais I don't like.
The British version, at least, it lasted 9 seasons.
That's right, Graybeard. I completely forgot that. I forgot Benny Hill was in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang also. That's right. Right.
Yeah, Edwin Manford says keeping up appearances was also good.
I like those Britcoms. Well, some. I love Are You Being Served? And I love Blackadder. The Blackadder series was hilarious.
Yeah, I liked a little bit of Fry and what was it? A little bit of Fry and Laurie. Yeah.
Yeah, Shibuki says The Office is bad and the American version is worse. Yeah, I just never got turned on to that
you
show.
You may get cussed out by some Americans though. It's saying that out loud.
Heather, Tower of London, and I. We also loved Absolutely Fabulous. That was a good show. The two.
I think I may have heard
the two women, always drunk.
Yes.
That was a funny show.
It was okay.
That was a good show.
One of my favorite shows, an American show. My favorite, Martian.
That's good. For what it was, for the time.
For what it was.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it as a kid.
I would like to get a Volkswagen Bug. The older ones, yeah, they're the best. They ride a little bit rough though when you hit bumps and all that. Mm-hmm. I think we've grown up so used to having that cushion feel. Yeah. When you ride in a Volkswagen, baby, you feel that shit on your on your tail. I'm serious. Mm-hmm.
Everybody has to be comforted nowadays. You know that, right? Nowadays your car has to be so comfortable.
It's like riding in a tin can.
You have to have everything. You got to have a TV to watch while you're driving. You got to have a phone.
You have to have something like what Urag has, I think.
Come on, hey, that's the. You gotta blame some of the comment was the Batmobile. I mean, he had a phone and the.
Yeah, but the Batmobile doesn't look like it was very comfortable to drive in. Let's face it. He had a lot of gizmos in it. I'm talking about the '60s Batmobile.
Right, the one that was just sold for $3 million.
Get in that damn thing. Come on, that was like pretty squished up in there. I mean, he and Robin had to share that front cockpit. Yeah. And they had that damn bar in between them. I mean, that was not a very comfortable ride. It was a badass looking ride, but it wasn't a comfortable ride.
Yeah, and they had to literally climb the car to get in it.
Yeah. Well, that was the Dukes.
There was no doors.
Remember the Dukes of Hazzard? They welded their doors shut.
The Dodge Charger, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad used to get mad at us when me and my sister used to get out the car that way.
My brother says the best car was the Green Hornets car. Wasn't that kind of like a Lincoln Continental?
I like the Green Hornets car, but I like the Batmobile better, way better.
Yeah, it was the Oldsmobile, 90. Yeah, because Chuck D talks about it on one of his on Public Enemy's very first album. Suckers at the side, I know you hate my '98. You're gonna get yours. My '98 Oldsmobile, that big car, the Green Hornet had.
Hey, speaking of Batmobile. Do you know, did you see the little film that Urag made in the car?
Yeah, I commented
and we went through the, I know.
I commented.
Wasn't that interesting?
Yes.
We ought to all have it.
Yeah.
And then you can make little films as you're going to the store. Well, oh shit, now I got to go take a dump. Or I need to go take a pee. Let me stop over here at Kroger's.
It comes in handy. Urag could use that to catch the cops doing something.
I know. I think that's why he got it.
He could get behind a cop and show a cop is speeding when the cop has no reason to speed, and then he can follow him.
He says, I got it because of the police in Macon.
Awesome.
Wow.
Hey, we'll definitely show that footage on the morning roast.
Yeah.
If you get some stuff like that, pass it down to Ed, send it to Ed, and we will expose it on here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give you credit, of course.
Expose yourself to the morning roast.
Yeah.
Best screen scar is Mad Max Jensen's Interceptor.
Yeah, I do like Mad Max's car. Mad Max's car is awesome. No,
it's all right. Wasn't that big?
The blower was awesome. All it was like a fucking duster or something like that. Does they give them different names over there?
Did Saibuki and everybody else, did you like Mad Max's car in the first movie? Or did you like the way it was in the second movie? I'm not even going to talk about Thunderdome.
Well, what about that other character? Shit, I forgot. Yeah.
Everybody loves their car. Starsky and Hutch. I love Starsky and
No,
Hutch's
the one
car.
that used to talk to
Kit.
David Hasselhoff.
Kit.
Yeah.
Knight Rider.
What do you think of Knight Rider?
I wasn't a fan of that show.
Okay.
I never watched it.
What about Starsky and
I
Hutch?
I love Starsky and Hutch. That was one of my favorite shows as a kid. Even though Knight Rider was my time period, early '80s, I never really got into it. I didn't really care.
I
for
did.
It.
I
never
thought it
cared
was a
for
great show.
Yeah.
My dad did too.
I think the reason I didn't care for it was I didn't like David Hasselhoff. For some reason, even then, I thought David Hasselhoff was goofy.
Yeah.
Wow.
For some
I
reason.
wasn't a Duke of Hazzard's fan.
I like Duke's Head.
My father watched it religiously.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I was asking people in the chat room which Pontiac Trans Am you like, the 70s Smokey and the Bandit version or the 80s Knight Rider version?
Smokey and the Bandit.
Of
Knight
course.
Rider's so gay.
Yeah. Yeah. Smokey and the Bandit.
Saibuki says he likes the
Car.
Bandit 70s version.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kit Saibuki said he would have taken his voice out. Kit's
And by the
voice
way,
out.
you were talking about that ad for the 77 yesterday.
Kid was a
13
douchebag.
grand. 13 grand for 77.
Yeah, it was
grand.
kind of
yeah.
gay, wasn't he?
It's not a bad deal.
Michael,
It's not.
I think you need to pull that.
Yeah.
The terrorists will be following you.
No, but he had more like a gay voice. Michael, I think you should, it was more like that. Don't you think?
Yeah, I didn't like Knight
It
Rider.
wasn't like
didn't like
like the
Knight Rider.
robot from Lost in Space.
Yeah.
Warning, what that was a
Will
man.
Robinson.
That
Will
was a
Robinson.
man.
Yeah.
But Kid was like kind of a
That's
queer
true.
gay
That's
guy
true.
in a car.
There was a lot of homoerotic metaphors in Knight Rider.
Yeah.
There was. Because David Hasselhoff kind of looked gay.
Yeah.
And he's wearing leather. He's got the leather jacket on. And
Yeah, and David Hasselhoff
He's
being
riding-
a woman
he's riding a
abuser,
car with-
women abusing
You
guy.
got his album?
Yeah. Actually, the voice of Kit was made by this guy named Daniels. He played the teacher and then later the principal in Boy Meets World, and he was also he played like this racist doctor on Saint Elsewhere.
Von Helton, it's Catherine Bach, not Barbara Bach.
Yeah. Oh, the voice of Charlie in Charlie's Angels, that was William Forsythe. He was
William Forsythe.
Yes.
Yeah, he played the patriarch in Dynasty.
Hey, Angels.
Good morning.
You know what else
Angels.
was an awesome car?
Charlie.
We're talking about cars. The Monsters Dragula.
Oh, I love
Was an awesome
that
car.
car. I
The
swear.
Monsters car.
Well, that's what I was telling you with Need for Speed.
William
the car.
Daniels.
Remember
William
the.
Daniels was kid.
Yeah, William Daniels.
If I was to do that to him, you'll see him screaming like a bitch. Okay, so remember the Monsters car.
I won't scream like a bitch!
Remember the Monsters car.
Yes.
Okay, we
It
were
was
talking
an
about the.
awesome car. Yeah.
That's what I was telling you about the Need for Speed car. That it reminded me of the Monsters car with the big pitch on the back where.
Oh, you mean the one in which the stunt car, the car where the driver's on the back,
Right,
and it doesn't have wheels.
And it
it's on
doesn't
a
have
trailer.
wheels. And,
Okay, yeah,
okay.
yeah, you're right. That did
It
look
kind of
like-
reminded me of the Monsters car.
Yeah.
I like that back. I would have been sitting in the back.
That's why the Monsters. That's another reason to me the Monsters was a better show than the Addams Family. I was always more about the Monsters.
Oh, yeah.
The Monsters to me was way better. They had a better car. I don't think the Addams Family had a car.
Yeah.
No, they
The
didn't.
Monsters had a better car. Lily was to me a hell of a lot finer than Morticia.
Yeah.
I
The
thought Lily
Morticia
was-
had the.
well, yeah.
I thought
kind of-
Lily was way better looking
Yes.
than Morticia.
Morticia looked like she had a thyroid condition.
I mean, Addams Family didn't have a werewolf. Munsters did. I gotta love my werewolves.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had
Eddie
Eddie
Munster.
Munster. You know, so.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then Fred Gwynn.
And it was just funnier.
Yes.
I mean, I what was so funny about
And the
him
song was
kissing
better.
her arm and
The
that?
song was better. The theme song was better. Everybody loves
Right.
the kooky gooky, but the rocking like jamming of
And no, but before that was more different. It
Well, it
was
says
more
Addams
like
Family had
violins.
Yeah. Addams Family
But
was
before
not-
it turned into that
What
rock
was it?
thing,
yeah.
it was more like violin. I like the original
I don't
version.
remember the original.
original.
Okay, I guess I do. I just remember when.
No, that's the second version.
No, that's the one I'm talking
That's
about.
the second
That's the
version.
one where it starts and it shows them coming down the stairs, and the stair opens up, and what's his name? The
Right,
the pets
right.
and the stairs, the
Right,
dragon,
yes,
spot,
yeah.
Yes.
and it's like it's just got that heavy like bass. And
I know.
guitars,
And that was when it
It's a
was
great
in the
song.
second or
It's a
third
great
year.
song.
But the original song and then the original ending was a different song.
Yeah.
And the original song in the beginning and in the end sounded more like monster music. Then it turned into like a rock, like you're talking about music.
I did like the Monsters because they had that one niece on there. What's her name? Marilyn.
The normal looking one.
The normal looking one,
Yeah.
but she
There
was.
were two
But she was
Marilyns.
considered ugly.
Yeah.
Go figure, but you know.
Yeah, that was
we know
funny.
what it is.
Did they ever explain why she was like that? Was there ever an explanation?
She
So-
was a niece.
Right. So if she's a niece to Herman, right? So was it supposed to represent that Herman's creator,
Dr. Frankenstein.
was it maybe Dr. Frankenstein's brother or sister's daughter?
That's correct. It was
Oh, no,
you
no,
were
no, not
supposed
daughter,
to figure that out on your own.
No, not daughter. That would have made them cousins. It wouldn't have been daughter. They would have been cousins.
It was
If-
his niece. So it was
So-
Herman Munster's brother. Whoever or sister.
Yes.
Because there's the bride of Frankenstein, right?
But the bride is
Wow.
also a creation. We're sitting here
Right.
dissecting the monsters. But I want to know this. As a child, I want to know this. If it's his, but it could then not be his original niece. It could have been Lily's niece.
Mm-hmm.
And Lily's
Look.
a vampire.
Actually,
And
supposed to be.
Al, Grandpa Munster, is her dad.
Right, yeah, but look at the
But-
son. How the hell did the werewolf come out?
But let's be honest.
Well,
but let's
because
be honest.
vampires change into wolves. One of the powers of vampires is they can change into wolves.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So that makes sense. That makes sense.
God
But
damn.
also you have to remember.
There's no mummies though. Where the hell's a mummy?
Yeah, but you have
a creature
to- yeah.
from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, but you have to admit though, because he had to marry a vampire because Dr. Frankenstein would make him a bride,
Right.
And
So-
when he did make him a bride, even the movie version, not the novel, but when he did, Dr. Frankenstein did make
That's it.
but when he made the Bride of Frankenstein,
Right.
supposedly in the movie of it.
But remember, guys, he's not
He-
Frankenstein. He's Herman Munster.
Herman
No,
Munster.
Not
but
Herman
he's supposed to be
He
Frankenstein.
Is. He is, but he's Herman Munster. He's another doctor. He's a doctor named Dr. Munster that created something like Victor. It's almost like Amadeus. You had Salieri and Mozart.
Mm-hmm.
They were contemporaries. They hated each other, and they were both vying for the top position as musician,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they worked, and they were in competition. So you had Victor Frankenstein, and then this other unknown Dr.
Victor Munster, yeah.
Dr. Munster, who created Herman. Dr.
Right.
Munster also had a son or daughter that was regular, through a regular relationship, which then had Marilyn as the offspring, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's how Herman became the uncle of Marilyn.
Yeah, but
That has
but
to
you
be
know,
it.
you had to really get just really bad. You had to have no type of swag whatsoever. If you're if the Dr. Frankenstein made the Bride of Frankenstein and she's dead, two made apart, and she disses you,
Right.
it's like I'm not dating your ass. If I didn't date your ass when I was alive, why am I going to date your ass when you dead? Shit.
Right, right.
You
Well,
got
you
all
know-
these neck bolts like you got body piercings from Home Depot and Lowe's and stuff.
Well, you know what? I think the most successful character in the Munsters was Grandpa. My brother mentions it. He had a restaurant in New York, comedy club.
Who mentioned it?
My brother.
Okay.
He had a comedy place in New York. I remember that. Did you ever go to Grandpa's? It was called Grandpa's, and it was a comedy club. And he was already an old guy, but yet he behaved. He had a very, very youthful spirit. Grandpa,
Right.
I'm talking about.
Right.
So he was, I believe, the most successful of the Munsters.
Right.
You know.
Van Helden or Von. Well, this sounds like Von Helsing.
yeah.
So we're going. What are you talking about? I don't know what I'm talking about. I do know what I'm talking about. What the hell? If you know your history of monsters, I do know what I'm talking about. What part do I not know what I'm talking about? Elaborate. Von
And
Helsing.
how do I look criminal?
I think Von Helsing just wants to make fun of us all today.
Mm-hmm.
What doesn't make sense? If you've got Herman Munster, who is a creation, and then the one who created Munster also has a natural son or daughter from a natural relationship, right? Well, that natural son and daughter then had to have a child, which would have been Marilyn, and that makes Herman Marilyn's uncle, because Herman is technically the brother of the natural child of Herman's creator, right?
Well, we don't know that.
But that's the storyline. That's the only way it would work out.
That's the storyline you'll come
Right,
in.
because that's the only way it would work out. That's the only way Herman can be an uncle to Marilyn, is that Herman's brother or stepsister has to be a natural product of Herman's creator. That makes them brothers and brother and sister. That's why, and then therefore Marilyn is the offspring of Herman's stepbrother or stepsister, which is the natural daughter or son of Herman's creator. That's exactly what makes sense.
You know what? I'm going to go back to something you said earlier.
Right?
I can't believe what he's sitting here dissecting the Munsters.
But it's Flippin' Friday. I mean, after this break, we'll go in all the news we got.
Yes,
well, we got a break.
Yes, it's 9:06 a.m. In Eastern Standard Time. It's Friday, Flippin' Friday, 65 degrees outside of Macon, Georgia, with a high of 88 and a low of 65. We're into the first break. We'll see you in a few. We'll be right back.
I think Von Helton's taking my story seriously, like it was written in the script. I never said it was written in the script. I'm trying to figure out how it
says
happened.
you're full of shit.
Gamer Girl says it's too early for the family tree of the Munsters.
Yep. We'll be right back.
I guess we'll be back, and we're really still on, and we're talking.
Oh, don't worry about it.
That's all right. It's Flippin' Friday. You're here. We're here. Let's be happy.
Yes.
We're all here. Lock up.
Uh-oh. Oh.
No volume
Oh, yeah, no volume. What the fuck? This is what you call getting caught red-handed in the library.
Is he jacking? Or is he stealing? Oh, that's both jacking too.
Yeah.
Both is jacking.
That's the best you can do.
Oh, he is playing himself.
Yeah, that is a good ass question.
Because maybe this was an ongoing problem at that library. You know, maybe other people were doing it, and this person was tired of it, so videotape it.
Graphic content.
There you
Warning, warning.
I didn't see that real time, but I had no clue what happened.
Oh,
Yes, let's do it.
Because the next one's the next round.
All right.
For the first time, we're hearing the 911 tapes of a woman who says she witnessed Tuesday night's in-custody death.
She says she saw everything, and Eyewitness News reporter Tom Murphy listened to the tapes and has more. Tom?
Caitlin, the Kern County Sheriff's Department turned the tapes over to us today. Our first chance to hear what witnesses were saying just moments after David Silva was restricted.
That's what happens.
You're watching Black Coal and the
We're
Seven
sitting here in the
Dwarfs.
dark.
You're watching Black Coal and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yes.
I mean,
Okay, and we are back.
it is Flippin' Friday.
Flipping Friday.
What's wrong, Ed?
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't get mad. He's not really mad.
It's 9:12.
He's
9:12
not all day, I
a.m.
don't know.
Eastern Daylight Savings Time in Macon, Georgia. We're live from the Nut House. This is the Morning Roast for Flippin' Friday, May 17th, 2013, with Irv, Ant, and DB right here, and Ed, who went to
Stormed off to get coffee.
went to make some
Donnie
coffee.
Curry, hello. The last hour we talked all about TV, movies, cars in TV and
Yeah,
movies.
TV series and season finales of certain shows.
We left off talking about the Munsters.
Yeah.
Donnie Curry, since you seem to be knowledgeable on a lot of topics, was Marilyn ever explained in the Munsters? We know
Marilyn, the niece.
We know she's the niece. Is she the niece of Lily or Herman? I mean, she's the niece of both of them, but who is she related to directly as the niece? I think the storyline is this, which, what's his name on here thinks I'm full of it.
Von Hilton.
Von Helton. But I think it's something to the effect of the creator of Herman had a child, a natural child, that was male or female, which then makes that Herman's stepbrother or stepsister, and then that person had a child, which was Marilyn. And that's why she's normal looking, and she's not a monster.
Yes.
And she basically was a takeoff of Marilyn Monroe, is why they call her Marilyn. And that's the way she looked, why she looked.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what we're talking about. We got stories, though, to go to the second hour.
Yes,
Yep.
I do.
You have the one I was about to do, so I'll let you do it.
Okay.
Local.
Yes, a local story. A man shoots woman himself in West Bibb domestic dispute. A domestic dispute turned violent last night in West Bibb County. Deputies responded to a Lineberger Road home just after 11:30 Thursday night. 55-year-old Kenneth Berman and his wife, 48-year-old Diane Berman, were involved in a domestic dispute during which Kenneth shot Diane before turning the gun on himself. Both were taken by ambulance to the medical center of Central Georgia. As of Friday morning, Kenneth is listed in critical but stable condition. Diane is listed in stable condition.
Yep, that's exactly what I got. There you go. Disputes going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's been going on since the beginning of time.
Yep.
Any other local? Oh! This we definitely have to hit on because we've been dealing with this from the get-go. Authorities have captured the fourth suspect in the slaying of two Monroe County men.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Jacobs is one of the individuals that was killed, along with Pittman Wood. And as we reported on here a couple of days ago, they had three in custody, a girl and two males, all within their teenage years. And then they were looking for a Devon. What was his last name? Davion, whatever. Anyway, they caught him in Decatur.
Yes.
He was in Decatur at a relative's house, and through research and investigation, the U.S. Marshals found him in Decatur and brought him back to now, of course, book him and make an indictment on him. Here it is. No, it's not. That's the other local story.
Okay.
Flippant Friday. This is my other one I'm doing about local politics.
Well, Gamer Girl just sent a story over here.
Is it local?
Well, it's in her
It's
area.
local.
It's local for her.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Alright,
hold on, Gamer Girl. We'll get to it. Let me just I'll find it. I apologize. I should have had it laid out, but who gives a shit? How much you pay me to do this? What the hell's his name? You did the story, Derek. What is the guy's name? Davion what? Davion.
Oh, okay. His
him. There you
yes.
go. Sapp.
Sapp. Davon Sapp.
There we
Yes.
go. That's what I'm looking
U.S.
for.
Marshals
Oh my
arrested the
God.
fourth
Jeez.
suspect in the Monroe County double homicide Thursday.
That's one ugly kid.
Well, yeah, that's probably why I was in hiding. Okay.
Oh.
That's according to John Edgar of the Southeast Regional Fugitive Task Force. He says that 17-year-old Davon Sapp was taken into custody in a relative's apartment in Decatur. He said Sapp was arrested without incident and taken back to Monroe County. Sapp and 3 other Macon teens are accused of killing Russell Jacobs and James Pittman last week at a Monroe County home. Investigators say that the 4 met the victims at a North Bibb County gas station, gave them a ride home, then shot them and robbed the house. All 4 are charged with murder. A news release from Monroe County Sheriff's Office says that officers spotted Sapp this week at the home of an aunt who was released from prison 2 days ago. He was arrested at another nearby apartment.
Got him.
Mm-hmm.
Good police work right there.
Let me see this kid.
Can we all
Yeah.
admit he looks kind of dumb?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, not only is his actions dumb, but he kind of looks dumb.
Yeah.
Wow. And how old was he?
17.
That's the thing about it. They're all under the age of an adult, but when it comes to doing this, they're going to be
Oh,
tried
they're
as
going to be
adults.
trial
yes.
as adults.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think? This is a good question. What do you think the number is that they would still try you as an adult? Basically,
17.
How low?
17.
Let's say these kids
From
were
what
all.
I
Let's
gather.
say these kids were all 13 or 14.
It'd have to
13
be-
13
Would they
no,
be tried
but
as an
14
adult?
yes, because I think
Do
they
you think
changed.
so?
I think they changed the law that
Ah.
if you're 14, you definitely be tried as an adult.
Oh, you can be.
You can be.
Because initially you're not.
Yes.
And then you have to kind of fight first. I think.
Yeah, you have to do something really
Really,
heinous.
really,
Right.
yeah, heinous.
Right.
Yeah.
Anus in the anus.
Yeah.
And then,
Jeez.
Yes. Yeah.
Anus in the anus. Well, all 4 of them might be feeling something in the anus once
well,
they get locked
that's
up.
what happened
Yes.
in New York with the guy that got plunged. Remember the plunging
Yeah,
guy?
Abner Louima, yes.
I can't believe he remembers his name. You're
Yeah,
amazing.
you don't remember you don't forget names like that or stuff like that. That was the first one of the first news I remember putting on the air when I first started working at WJ Fox 24.
Yeah.
I'll leave this here at the Nut House. This is the receipt. Yesterday, Edward Mappa, I mailed off your videos.
All right.
Your DVDs that you won. I didn't get to post a movie today. I'll post one Monday, and we'll again do it first caller next Monday. We'll get a DVD. But yeah, Edward, I mailed it off yesterday. Here's the receipt. Largo, Florida. So you should get that in about 3 to 5 days. Thank you, Mappa. Okay, let's stay local real quick, Gamer Girl. Then we'll get to your story. There's no sense in going back and forth. Let's get this local crap. I know this is going to be one that's going to be very interesting to Irvin Martinez. You heard about Mr. Tyrone, right?
Tyrone who?
The one arrested. Politician arrested.
Oh, yes.
Tyrone.
Tyrone who?
I'm having that problem with last damn names this morning. Tyrone. What in the hell is going on? There's the Fort Campbell story. Anyway, it's just one of the top news. Just click on it.
I think it may be.
Right there. No, that's not. It's Tyrone. Anyway, Brooks. Tyrone Brooks is been indicted on wiretapping, and it's right there, man. It's right there. I just saw it. I just saw Brooks flash up somewhere. Tyrone Brooks. There we go. Guess whose name's tied to this guy, Irvin?
Oh.
2 people whose names are tied to him. Works with Gabio, which he is the president of. Elaine Lucas and Henry Fickler.
No shit.
Lucas is the vice president of this group he started that he's the president of, and Henry Fickling's the treasurer. Read the story.
Oh, I gotta see
Yes.
this.
A
I
federal
gotta see-
grand jury has indicted State Representative Tyrone Brooks over allegations claiming he misappropriated more than $1 million in charitable funds. Brooks, a Democrat from Atlanta, was charged Thursday with 30 counts of mail fraud, wire fraud, and false tax returns. The allegations involve Brooks' relationship with Universal Humanities, a charity he founded in 1990, and the Georgia Association of Black Elected Officials.
Which is also known as Gabio.
Yes.
That's the group that Fickling and Lucas are also members of.
Yes. The indictment alleges the 67-year-old repeatedly solicited contributions from individuals and corporate donors to combat illiteracy and other causes, but then used the money for personal expenses. When reached by the phone, Brooks told the Associated Press that he was not speaking about anything until I talked to my lawyer, quote unquote. Brooks was first elected to the General Assembly in 1981.
So I hear, now it doesn't say in that story, but I hear, as I said, that group, Gabio, that Derek just mentioned, the Georgia Associated of Black Elected Officials, has 2 members from city council in it. Elaine Lucas is the vice president, and Henry Fickling is the treasurer. Now that doesn't mean they have anything to do with it.
Right.
It doesn't mean that they have anything
What
to
did
do
we
with
talk about the other day about bad company corrupts good character?
Well, that's what I was going to get at. So, I want you to do me a favor while we discuss this, Derek. Type up Gabio, put in Gabio, and then somehow put like Elaine Lucas's name with it. Let's see what comes up. Gabio!
I can't find it on my...
What are you looking for?
The same story, so I could read it and look around.
Oh, well, he's here we go. Here's some stuff with Elaine Lucas and Gabio.
Okay, it was a video
This is the video from, what's the date? February 25th and 27th.
of this year.
And this is Elaine Lucas talking about Gabio. And again, we're not saying anybody's guilty of anything. I mean, just
Well, that guy is.
no, but as far as our local politicians,
Right.
we're not saying that.
Black elected officials will host their winter conference here in Macon. There will be a series of events open to the public, and to learn more about it,
It's very interesting.
Elaine Lucas is joining us this morning.
There's Elaine.
Thank you. It's early, but this is worthwhile. Thank you for letting us come.
Absolutely, and you're one of the local leaders for this organization. Tell us what the impact is of having it here in Macon.
Wow, so that's a big slap in the face,
So
huh?
we always want to encourage groups to come in and have their
Okay, so we've established that's true. We don't have to play that. That's not going to be heard very well through the microphone.
Okay.
We've established, though, that she is connected with them, right?
Mhm.
And then Fickling is apparently also.
Yes.
So, that being said, Irvin, Derek, Ed, do you think this affects their election?
I don't think it's a big enough story.
Do you
I don't
this
think that they're
affects the
going to make
election?
it a big enough story
Well-
unless we go out of our way and make it into a big story.
Maybe not their supporters, but
Well, that's what I
probably
was
some
getting
voters.
at. Do you think the votes will not come now to those 2 people?
What's the name of this guy?
Tyrone Brooks.
Yes.
Tyrone Brooks. Now, he's out of Atlanta. He's not local. He's an Atlanta representative.
Yes.
And again, just because you do know somebody that's been indicted for something, it doesn't mean you are guilty of anything. But, as Irvin said, and as we say on here, everybody always goes with that whole, you are who you associate with. You're judged by who your associates are. So, I don't honestly think it's going to make a difference either, Irvin and Derek.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Fickling and Elaine both have enough supporters in this city that will vote them both through as county commissioners. But we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was very interesting.
Well, and the thing is, this is really him doing this. There's no proof that Elaine is.
Well,
doing
that's
any
my
of the
point.
stuff.
But do you think now what's going to happen is you're going to have local media digging further into this to find out if there's a connection, to find out if Elaine or Henry
That's a
Fickling
possibility.
did put their hand
That's
in
a
the till
possibility.
and take some of this money also and use it for personal
That's a possibility.
reasons.
And if they're not doing that, they ought to.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
I'm serious.
you
just
gotta
to make
bet.
sure. I mean,
Oh, yeah, and I think they will.
You think the local media has had enough balls to
I
do
think
that?
you know who's going to do it because they're always so adamant about doing this stuff and they're on top of things and they're all over the place. Channel 13.
MAZ should
yes,
do it.
That's who's going to do it. Channel 13 will be all over it. Why?
Yeah, because they're the ones that brought this up. You might as well follow up.
Yeah.
I'm sure the guys on Mixing the Meth in the Morning will do it
Yeah, no doubt.
because they can't stand Elaine Lucas.
Yeah.
So that's all the more reason.
They're too lazy to do that. They don't find anything
Well,
out.
but
They
they're-
just talk by half bullshit that they hear.
Right.
They don't do any
Right.
kind of investigation. or
This
anything.
might be something that they will want to do because they really don't want Elaine Lucas elected again.
Well.
So they might actually put their feet to the fire.
By the way, Urak says Fickling gathered his budget books and left the council chambers. Councilwoman Elaine Lucas got confirmation from the Transit Authority's attorneys that guns are not allowed on MTA property, and then she followed Fickling out the door.
When was this, Urak?
Was this yesterday?
Well, yesterday they didn't have a meeting.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they might have had a meeting, but they didn't have the regular council meeting open to the public. Because
Right.
That's the third and first Tuesday. That's what we go to. When was this, Urak? Morning, Jeff Adams Show.
Hey, what's going on, Jeff?
Bye, Eve. Thanks for stopping by, Plastic Canvas.
Okay, have a good weekend.
Urak, right there. Okay, Urak put the link up. Thank you, Urak.
Let's
Keep
look
going
at
down.
it. 2 council members walk out on making budget hearings over gun incident.
Okay.
Over what?
Derek could get it. If you can't get it, Derek will get it. Well, let's keep this going. This is local, and this is hot topic. So
Yes, the Macon Transit Authority is seeking a $151,000 increase to last year's $1.6 million in the city funding, partly to give drivers of its route buses and paratransit service a pay raise. But that request went unheard when 2 members of the City Council's Appropriations Committee walked out of the Thursday afternoon budget review. Councilman Henry Fickling asked MTA General Manager Rick Jones where the Tiawanda Hampton's firing from the Transit Authority stood. Jones confirmed that Hampton, an administrative assistant until April 2nd, doesn't work there anymore, but he wouldn't provide further details. It's a personal issue that we can't discuss, he told Fickling. On March 28th, Hampton told a security officer at the Transit Authority's Terminal Station headquarters that a supervisor brought a shotgun into the office.
Yeah, I remember that.
MTA officials refused to identify the man, but a Macon Police Department report identifies him as John Allagood, Human Resources Manager for the authority. The police report that said that the security officer escorted Allagood to his vehicle where he put the gun away. Hampton said he thinks Allagood should have been fired. Instead, 4 days later, she was the one fired. Hampton says Jones fired her because she refused to say why she called the Transit Authority's board chairman, Craig Ross, instead of talking to Jones. Jones subsequently said Allagood had been disciplined. Guns are prohibited under a Macon Transit Authority policy that carries penalties ranging from suspension to termination. Fickling called that outcome an injustice, alleging that Hampton had been fired for reporting a supervisor's rule violation. Says that is reprehensible. I don't see how you can all sit here and ask us for money with that going on down there at the Transit Authority, he said. I just cannot sit here and listen to what they have to say. Fickling gathered his budget books and left the council chambers. Councilwoman Elaine Lucas got confirmation from the Transit Authority's attorney that guns are not allowed on MTA property, and then she followed Fickling out the door.
And I agree with Fickling on this. That's bullshit. And this is a prime example of how government officials get away with shit, right? And then the citizens don't. It's the same thing. It's like Sutton should be fired for his incompetence. This guy who walks in with a gun should be fired for his incompetence, right? You know you don't walk in with a gun. I don't care if you work there.
No,
We
not
just-
only that,
we
well,
just talked
the
about
real
all this-
injustice is not so much that he walked in there with a gun. The real injustice is that they fired the girl
who thought she was doing the good thing, the right thing.
Well, she did do
I
the
do
right
too.
thing.
I think so too.
She did do
I
the
mean,
right thing.
that is straight up bullshit. Because,
So they left the chambers because they refused to discuss with the MTA.
Because the guy admitted that they did let her go. She lost her job over that.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with Fickling on that. And Lucas, but of course Lucas wasn't the pioneer. She walked out after Fickling walked out first.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you know, I mean, that is bullshit. If you know you're not supposed to bring a gun in, you don't bring a gun in, right?
Mm-hmm.
and then to fire the one who thought she was doing her job,
Right.
by reporting it. That's bullshit.
Well, anyway, so the gist of it is, the MTA came to them for money, right? Was that it? What was? Why were they there? Why was the MTA there?
To get the council to vote on them, I guess, getting something right. Was it money, Derek? Go back up. What were they? A budget hearing.
Seeking 151,000 increase.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so Councilman Ficklin said, I don't think we should be asking for money when we have more serious issues. That's my point with Officer Sutton.
There you go.
That's my point with the Sutton thing. I think it's ridiculous too. Sit around people, sit around citizens, sit around and let them pull your ass like all over the place about stuff like this. Let them yank your chain. Go right ahead.
Yeah.
See, now the fact that happened, that's where they come back and they start calling Elaine a rebel rouser and all that.
Right.
This is a perfect example of the type of politics that how she expresses herself in politics. She don't take anybody's bullshit. I'm serious. I think that's something that I'm starting to understand better and better now.
Ficklin doesn't either. Apparently.
No.
And I got another story, a local story that probably even hit home even more, especially probably for you. The Bibb School Board delays the 45-15 calendar. This is from Caitlin Neck from WMAZ. It says the Bibb School Board put off a move to a year-round 45 days on, 15 days off schedule in Thursday's meeting. It says the Bibb County School Board pushed back a move to a 45/15 calendar on Thursday night's meeting, and that set up students will go to school for 45 days and have 3 weeks off. Deputy Superintendent Jane Drennan says that the district administration advised them against it for a few reasons. The first is a $56,000 hike in utility bills, mainly due to running the air conditioning during the hot summer months. Also, the district surveyed around 900 employees. Roughly two-thirds of them were against the 45-15 calendar. It says, I think originally people thought the year-round calendar. Well, it really isn't year-round. Students still attend the school the same number of days. Staff still works the same number of days that they would have before. It's just configured in a different way. You go 45 days into school and then 15 off, says Dresden. Said the school board will take up the 45-15 calendar again for the 2015-2016 school year. Those discussions will start around February of next year. Having 11, I guess it would be like an 11-month school year.
You know what I'm going to say?
No, I have no clue.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why can't they just leave the damn calendar the way it was when we went to school? Didn't it work out fine that way?
Well, yeah.
Didn't it work fine? We got to school what time? 8 o'clock? What time do we have to be there? 8:15? And then we got home at 2:15, right? Why couldn't they just left it like that?
Because
why do we have to keep messing with all this shit?
The teachers became the curricula as well as the teachers became dumber. They dumbed it down for the teachers to give it, which dumbed down the students.
That's my point I make all the time.
Watered down the education.
That's our country. Lower the standards because everybody thinks it's okay to lower your standards.
It's
exactly what this country does.
The Forrest Gumpization of American school systems, really.
And see, if you just leave it the way it was, then you don't have to worry about this crap.
Mm-hmm.
You just really don't. You just really don't. You can't overteach a kid. I'm evident of this. I watch this every day when my kids come home from school, guys, and chatters and viewers. A kid only is willing to learn up to so many hours. Once that happens, their brain is shot. They need to rest. They need to relax. They need to get their mind off of it. You can't continue to keep forcing a kid to teach, to learn when they're just spent. Especially a kid that's young and growing and their brain is still forming.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when they add these more hours and they add this more time, at a certain point of the day, the kid just says, the hell with it. I'm shutting off. I'm shutting down. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when they start getting irritable, stressed out. And I've noticed this with my kids, with Elizabeth, you know. She comes home, she's got homework, and at that point, the homework is just not, sometimes she just does not want to do it, and it's just not registering with her because she's been doing it at the damn school for 9 hours or whatever the hell it was. 8 hours. So it's just, I don't know. I think they should have just left it. And I know part of it was, of course, Dalaman showing up and going, hey, we got to have it year round, and we got to add this and this and this. But they should have just left it.
Even though some European countries have year round, so do you think that's beneficial to them, or
I think that what it is that what makes it work better for those countries as a whole, not all, don't jump down my throat, not all, as a whole, is that I think that a lot of those countries have their priorities set better than America does. They have their priorities set better. The priorities are better about the health as far as what their kids eat. The priorities are better about what they allow them to do.
Right.
How much TV they let them sit in front of.
Yeah.
How many video games they let them sit in front of. I think as a whole, those countries have the priorities better, which therefore allows their kids to learn under better conditions. I think what you have in the U.S. is you have all these damn kids that already have bad parents, right? That are eating incorrectly, not getting enough sleep, running around doing whatever the hell they want to do.
And then compounded with giving them Ritalin.
Right, giving them medicine, exactly. It's a good point. And then you're shoving them in a school and you're forcing them to learn and overlearn, and at some point they just can't do it anymore. Their body and brain shuts down, and you can't force it. I think you have to, what do I always say on the show? Moderation. You have to moderate. You have to have a little bit of everything in amounts. Phone call must be Donnie Curry. Let's do it.
I was reading what Tom London said. It says, my kids leave at 8:10 and get home at 4:30. That's too long of a day for a kid. Yeah.
Amen, Heather. That's what I'm talking about.
We got home around at least 3:15.
Oh, yeah. Central High School here, I got out at 2:15.
Good morning.
Donnie.
It's Donnie.
Go, Donnie.
The man or woman who ever thought of year-round school should be shot. Because when we were growing up, we had school 9 months out of the year, off 3 months. That went good for our generation. Why should we have to change that? The whole thought process that they retain more when they have a month off in between the 3 month gaps, not all kids are the same. And I think that year-round should be abolished. Because parents, if they want to do family unity, like family vacations, they can't plan them anymore when they're during the year-round schooling. That's my point on that. But Anthony, I answered your question about Munsters. Okay, Marilyn was written in, and Butch Patrick, the guy that played Eddie Munster,
the werewolf,
told me himself why she was created. She was created by Lillian's sister. She adopted a regular human being to see what it was like. Then her mother and father died. That's why Herman Munster and Lillian Munster adopted her, and that's why they call her Aunt and Uncle Lillian and Herman.
Wow, very interesting. So Lillian's sister was a vampire also.
Do what?
Lillian's sister was a vampire also.
No, she was adopted human.
But you said something about Lillian's sister. She was the child of Lillian's sister.
No, I said Lillian's sister adopted a normal human being to see what it was like to have a normal child.
Okay.
I see.
Okay. And then she died, and the Munsters, Herman and Lillian, took her over.
Is that right?
Yes, it was a normal child.
Now, where did Eddie come from?
He's a werewolf.
How come a vampire and a Frankenstein had a werewolf?
Yes.
What happened there? Was Lily Lily out there screwing around with other werewolves? Or a werewolf?
I believe
so. Cheating, see?
Very good. Thank you, Donnie. So, and you heard that right out of Butch Patrick's mouth, huh? Donnie?
Oh, he's gone.
All right, thanks for the call, Donnie.
Thanks for the call.
Now
that's a switch. I never thought that monsters could cheat. But but
I said this. I didn't know that was written in.
Right, but Patrick kid, the little werewolf,
Butch
He
Patrick?
told Donnie that, but he didn't tell Donnie where he came from.
Donnie probably didn't ask.
That would have been a great
Donnie
fight.
cared more about the woman, Marilyn. He didn't give a shit about
that
the
would have
little
been a wing
werewolf
dang
boy.
doodle of a story right there.
Yeah. But anyway, back to our topic. Yeah, Donnie, good point. You're right. You can't have this year-round school crap. Good point, Donnie. Having to do with the vacation time you have to spend with your family, and just in general. You know, you can't just overload your brain. I mean, you just can't do that. You have to have things in moderation.
Yeah, Saibuki says my eldest at school leaves at 7:30 and comes home at like 4:45. But jeez, not even blue collar workers work that long. I don't think.
Yeah.
7:30 to 4:45, please, man.
What? The kid in school?
Yeah.
Yeah. The
practically a
longer they
job.
stay in there, the better. Better for everybody.
Well,
Let 'em learn.
unless
or let them come home a little lethargic. Go to sleep.
unless the bully's right there, so that means which is
So
that'll be
Urban,
worse for the kid.
you're for this all-day schooling or this year-round
Yeah,
schooling?
why not?
Are you?
The
Oh,
kids
no,
need
no,
to
no.
do something. What else are they going to do?
They need to do other. You're right. They need to learn other parts of life.
Well, I mean, here's the
You're
thing.
right. They
In
need
that
to do other things
schooling,
that aren't
let them give
school-related.
them gym, let them give them something to do.
Well,
but keep them there.
That's why they have the Boys and Girls Club. You know, they usually have that.
Yeah, and they're
like-
doing real well.
I'm glad Urban doesn't have kids.
I'm glad I don't either.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's 9:42. I got to go in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, so Buki says Japanese schools start at 7 a.m. with 1 hour of exercise to start, and they don't finish until 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But see, that's the point I was making when I said other countries. You can tell Japan has their priorities a hell of a lot better in order than we do. You know, as far as the way their kids are treated and the way they bring their kids up,
Yeah.
and the amount of character and respect they have.
Yeah.
You know, in the U.S., we have a lot of bad parenting, Saibuki. I mean, I know there's cases of it. I have that story too. I'm glad you pulled that up.
Oh, did? Okay.
But not now. You can do it when I'm gone. The Hatchet Hitchhiker one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So, you know, what do? I guess you just complain and bitch about it, like we do about everything else.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
because if they're going to make people have all day school or whatever, or 75% of their year spent in school, then they're going to make it happen, right?
Oh, we got to read this story. This is an interesting one.
Here's a wing dang dude. It's one that you probably would be talking about at the water cooler after you leave here. It's definitely.
You guys talk about it.
Yes, police. Woman stabbed boyfriend after he farted in her face. It's in Florida, in Immokalee, Florida. A Florida woman told police that she stabbed her boyfriend late last week because he farted in her face.
Oh shit.
Deborah Ann Burns, age 37, said she was watching television in her Florida home when her boyfriend Willie Butler walked by her and passed gas. She then confronted him about the fart, and Willie became agitated, telling her to shut up, the police report said. It was then that Burns reportedly grabbed a kitchen knife and chucked it at Butler, hitting the 53-year-old in the stomach, according to the police report. Burns was arrested for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. She is currently being held in jail on a $50,000 bond.
Wow. That is funny.
Yes.
So he fought in her face,
And then
and she stabbed him in the ass.
Maybe she deserved the
I
gas
guess- well-
chamber.
Yeah. Well, she cuts. Yeah, but come on, but really, do you have to cut some money in the gut because someone cutted the cheese on you? I'm just saying.
Yes. Cut begats cut. Look at her face. She looks like she's been farted in the face.
She
a
looks
few
like she's
times.
still smelling it.
Man.
Oh, well.
Okay, well that was just a fantastic.
So that's
wing
messed
dag
up.
doodle.
Yeah, you cut the cheese, you get cut in the gut. How about that's
Or in the butt.
Speaking of farts, nothing really to discuss in detail unless you guys want to and gals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I found out surfing the web yesterday that Hillary Clinton was fired from the Watergate investigation. Did you know that? I didn't even know she was on that board.
How do you
Wow.
segue from fart to that?
Very easily, because Hillary looks like a big fart. Anyway, in my opinion. But anyway, no, Hillary Clinton was one of the lawyers working on the Watergate investigation,
Yeah.
trying to take down Nixon in 1974. And she worked for the Judiciary Committee. And her supervisor was Jerry Zeifman. And this is out of Zeifman's mouth, who was a lifelong Democrat. and the General Counsel and Chief of Staff. And he said, quote, I fired her because of unethical behavior and lying. He says the rules of the House, he says she was unethical, dishonest lawyer. She conspired to violate the Constitution. The rules of the House.
Don't you think some of this is politically motivated?
And the rules of confidentiality. Well, of course it is. Of course it is. But it's news. I mean, of course, I agree it's politically motivated. But did you know that? I mean, honestly, did you know she was fired?
I knew that she was part of that. And here's the funny thing about all this.
Right.
I knew that she was one of the lawyers in that.
I didn't know that.
But they never ever mentioned that she was fired. They made her look as though she was one of the lawyers and blah 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 blah.
And people get fired. I mean, hell, I've been fired.
I'm surprised that she was fired.
Not everybody. And
I'm surprised it wasn't made mention earlier.
Yeah, I am too. But do you think they brought it up now?
Well, now they bring it up because of politics, but they should have brought it up then.
Benghazi?
Well, no, but also because slowly we're going into the next election here.
Of course, this is all bullshit.
And they're trying to maybe already put that little nail in.
Let me just say this:
So
you see those people
2016?
up in Congress, and you see the president, and you see everybody in government. And then what we think of them is completely different than what they think of us. We're like cattle. We're like a bunch of freaking cows and sheep that they try to mind control and try to gear into this section. And let's put this out there and get the public all riled up. Or let's not say this so the public doesn't know. In other words, the public is treated like a little child, like a 6-year-old. Right?
Yeah.
And the politicians are like the big brothers, the big sisters, trying to protect us. But meanwhile, they're conniving, philandering liars.
Right.
Not all of them, but too many of them.
Yes, all of them. No, I'm just messing.
No, I'm serious. They look at us like the American public. They look at us like a bunch of stupid asses. And then we just, really solidify it with some of the comments that are made.
And also by voting them in repeatedly.
Oh, by voting.
But Irvin, this fits into what we said to Mayor Rickert.
People are stupid. That's a problem.
We met with Rickert, and did we not say that when somebody has a record, that record has to reflect
which is substandard.
Their further actions, right? We say that was Sutton, right? Yeah. He was, of course, in the other arena. He was acting as if, well, the record's not a big deal because they can change. But let's face it, you are judged by your past.
Yeah.
So that being said, if somebody here that she worked for, and he's also a Democrat, said she was unethical and she lied, I mean, isn't that maybe a case that her unethical behavior and lying has continued as she aged and she continues to do it? And what makes you think she's not going to continue to do it if she becomes president?
Good question.
Morning, Rose.
Hi, y'all. It's Urak.
Hey, Urak.
How you doing,
Thanks for
Urak?
the call. Go with it.
Okay, now the phone might break up on you, so let me know if it does, okay? Because I've got you muted.
Okay, go.
Okay.
I know this is a little bit behind your conversation, but I had to sit here and do a little figuring. But we were talking about the appropriations of the money and the school board and all that.
Right.
And what I was going to say was I broke down my property tax by percentage of the total amount. And the school board is 45%. The city of Macon, 24%. The county of Bibb, 30%. And the state, 1%. So that's another reason why, if it's going to cost more to run the schools during the summertime and year-round, then I am ready to go to some of these meetings and start yelling and screaming and getting thrown out too if they're going to raise my property tax.
Right, and I agree. I think you have every right to be pissed off about that.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. It costs 45% of my property tax to run the school system compared to 24% to run the city.
Right, and you don't even have children in the school system.
Exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
It's
I
a
agree.
good show.
It's all money making.
Say again?
I said I think it's all money making, right? I mean, it's a ways for them to just tax you and get more money.
Yeah, so what are you going to do? If you don't pay it, they're going to take your property.
That's why we got to fight back, Iraq. That's why we gotta.
Yeah.
That's why we have to. We have to fight back as a people. I've been screaming it for a while, and you have too. I think.
Oh yes, and and what is your recourse though? They're $18 million in the hole. How are they going to fix that? I mean, it's a mess.
Yeah, and that's one reason why this city is a mess. You know.
I'm with you, man.
It is.
But you guys have a good show. This phone will start breaking up. If I'm streaming you guys and I'm using my Magic Jack, it's going to go to crap.
All right.
Long.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay.
Thanks, buddy.
Take care. Thanks
Take
for
care.
calling.
Yes,
You know,
I want to say hello to Because 77, Saibuki Diaz, Photo Guy, Edward Mampa, Winchester 9708 with Eric Wildcat. Thanks for the call. Gamer Girl, Ellen Macon, Three Bears, T.L. Wilson, Tower London, Ashley 34, Clutch Cargo, Kelsey 1324.
Welcome, Kelsey.
Mahari Nudsak, Strange Place, and the Jeff Adams Show, and also Eve Plastic Canvas, who was
And
here
Donnie
earlier.
Curry,
And
who
Donnie
just
Curry.
left.
Yes.
Chat DS Photo Guy says, did we see the Snopes link about the hornet nest? Yes, we did.
Yes, we found out.
We
Yes.
did that story yesterday.
Yeah, the story we just got a story
Wow, look at
from
the
DS.
hole.
We found out that it
False.
was a false.
Yes.
Its story was false.
So it was an onion. Remember, we said that before. We said, is this an onion story?
Mm-hmm.
And who sent that?
No, I found it. I got it off the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Says this article of a Swedish man's dying.
I brought that one in. That was my mistake.
It was just, you
But
know
it
what?
made
It
for
was so
great-
outlandish.
But it made for great comedy because
Well,
we
not
were
only
laughing.
that, but the idea that we could believe something like that.
Well, I didn't
That's
necessarily.
how crazy the world
I mean,
is.
that shows you that. No, that I like when we do that. I like when we have. Remember that time during the show when Ed slipped in a fake story to us?
Yeah.
Remember that? And Irvin kind of got mad at him, like, "Oh, don't do that." But
Yeah.
I like when we do that sometimes, whether we know it or not, because it shows one thing: that people, when you watch our show and listen to our show, don't take everything we say as fact. Do your own research.
No, that's
Look
not
up-
a good message
That
to
is a
send
good message.
out.
That is a good message because that teaches
No,
them
no,
what.
some of these people
but
would be wasting their time.
No, but Irvin, no, that's not true. But Irvin, you're then saying it's okay for them to be a propaganda puppet that listens to everything the media tells them.
You mean
I'm
like
not
the
saying that.
network?
You are
news?
saying that.
What I'm saying is we should be credible in
We
the
are,
story that
but
we
the
give,
but the
and not
credibility-
bullshit.
but the
I mean,
credibility-
what's to talk about
But
bullshit?
Irvin,
I can't stand that.
But Irvin, we're not credible. How do we know any of this stuff we ever talk about is true? We're not there in person. How do we really know what happened in Benghazi, even though we all have an opinion about it? So credibility thing is, yes, you try to be credible, but we also don't want to get our audience and the citizens in general so lethargic to where they have to just turn on a TV screen or a computer screen and hear somebody tell them something and automatically take it as true.
All right, Kelsey 1324. Anthony thinks he's doing the right thing while Irving is down to earth. Wait, my advice to Anthony is to listen to him, listen a bit more to Irvin. In other words,
That's not happening.
I mean, why are we
Oh,
gonna
geez.
sit here like we dissected the monsters? And
Yes.
I thought that was fun.
And we had no clue
But
what
we
we were
knew
talking
ahead,
about.
we knew ahead of time that the monsters are bullshit made up
Right.
series on television.
Right.
And talking about where Eddie came from and Maryland and all that
Right.
is kind of stupid, but it was fun.
Right.
But to have a story that we're coming across as though it's for real, and then the next time it was an onion story.
But we were laughing.
I
We
mean,
we
what?
laughed during the
I
whole thing.
just-
I mean,
we were
it
telling
was-
jokes about Honey Nut Cheerios. We were telling jokes about Honey Boo Boo. I mean, we were laughing. Our chatters were
Yeah, I
loving
mean,
it.
it came from the UK's International Business
Right.
Times, the IBT, but the IBT published a follow-up article the day later. Linnaeus was taking it by a tall tale. It says, unfortunately, it turned out the story was a fake from a satirical news website in Sweden called Nyheterna Sverige, which was kindly pointed out by a number of our
Which
readers.
translated means a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, I guess.
But my point is that
The original story was spawned from animal rights campaigners who were worried about the well-being of hornets.
Okay. But my point is that we really never know.
Now
what
that's
story.
Interesting.
Right.
That's interesting that it was by who put
Animal
it out?
rights group.
Animal
rights group worried about the well-being of
There you
plants.
go. Once again,
Kind of
these,
the crazy
these
kind
weird,
of over-the-board PETA types.
Yeah.
Right.
But my point is that, how do we know any story we say, Irvin, is ever true? We don't, right? So that's why I want our audience to find out more for themselves. Because we don't know. When you pull your story up off of the computer over there, you don't know 100% if it's fact. Right? I mean, we don't.
I know that it's pretty much fact, but the facts within the facts are always screwed up anyway.
I mean, that is the point.
I mean, you take most of the story for real, but some of it you always you don't take it.
And even
verbatim.
though this is far-fetched, it's not completely far-fetched. Let's admit, there are freaky people in the world, right? We do know there's cases of people having sex with animals, right? Right? We do know that goes on, right? So maybe people do something stupid like stick their junk in a hornet's nest.
Okay, well, Gamer Girl says, but we do want to know that we are not wasting our time. Trust me, we are not always here for just the news.
True.
That's Gamer Girl.
True.
And then she says, and stop being made. It's too early in the morning for this shit.
Oh,
what did she say?
Made I guess mental. It's too early in the morning for this.
Oh.
Sabuka says, cuddle prod. He gay.
I gotta go in 4 minutes. Well, guys, I'm gonna leave my last stories to you guys because we didn't get to them, and I'll say this one real quick. I'll leave this one with Derek because this is one Derek had about the Hatchet hitchhiker was arrested, the internet sensation.
Oh,
Y'all can do
okay.
that. Well, let me do this one.
I had that one up.
Let me do this one real quick about Fort Campbell, Kentucky, since I advertised it on this morning's news feed for the Morning Roast Facebook page. But the head of Fort, and I wanted to talk about this one when I found it because I was born in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and you never hear about Fort Campbell, Kentucky in the news. It's the home of the 101st Screaming Eagles Airborne Division.
Okay.
It's head of Fort Campbell, Kentucky, harassment program arrested. The manager of the sexual harassment and assault response program at Fort Campbell, Kentucky was arrested in a domestic dispute and relieved of his post. Lieutenant Colonel Darren Haas turned over because of an order of protection and stalking that his ex-wife had put on him, was charged with violating. Let me say that. This is like all jumbled. Lieutenant Colonel Darren Haas turned himself over to the police Wednesday because of charges of violating an order of protection and stalking that he had imposed against him involving his ex-wife.
Wow.
Apparently he was not doing what he was told, and so they relieved him of his duties in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Master Sergeant Pete Mays, a spokesman, said Haas was immediately removed as a manager of the program, which is meant to prevent sexual harassment and assault and encourage equal opportunity. Lieutenant Colonel Haas is 42 years old, and his ex-wife has orders of protection against him, as well as he has them against her.
Wow.
And they're also involved in a child custody fight.
That's something peculiar. Tia Wilson said that, I worked at the sexual assault office on the base.
Glad I brought it up. It fits in with one of our chatters and viewers. Good to know. I'm glad when that happened. See, now, Irvin, that's a case where we assume that's a real story, right? And it probably is.
Yeah, probably is.
But we don't really know. I mean, maybe 3 days from now the shit comes out false. Right?
Well, kind of like Wiener. Remember Wiener in New York? He's running for mayor, by the way.
Is he? Oh,
yeah. And if you remember the story about Wiener, he was the guy that tweeted his...
well, no, he was in front of his webcam talking to women and showing his naked body.
No, well, no.
That's what he was doing.
He was tweeting pictures of his gigantic penis.
Well, but yeah, but he was
under
also
his
in front
underwear,
of
yeah,
computer.
Wiener.
Right.
Yes.
And
how do you know it's gigantic? That's a false
well,
story.
because they show it. I mean,
Wiener's
I never saw it, though.
Anthony Wiener's kielbasa.
I never saw it, so I don't know if that's true.
Anyway, so, you want proof? I'll try to find it and send it to you. How's that?
It could be an onion story. He could have
be.
He could have had a little Vienna sausage. Yeah.
Well, all of a sudden, go ahead, Ed.
No, I was gonna say, see, they ain't got the German right. Okay, they pronounce it a wiener. The way it's spelled should be whiner. Whiner.
Right, you're right.
W-I-E is a E.
But he pronounces it as wiener.
Like Rieker.
That's German.
Yeah.
Right, but it should be Riker.
Right.
Riker.
Yeah.
That's definitely a German name.
So they fucked that language up.
Well, I mean, it's America. We really fucked the
like
language
New
up.
Way, like New Way
He
Wieners,
tell you all about
like New Way Wieners.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Right.
we really screw up the language.
Well, there's some people call him Martinez,
yeah.
and it's Martinez.
Well, yeah. Well, see, there's a place called Martinez, Georgia. Well, it's pronounced Martinez,
we used to
Georgia.
live there. As a child, I lived there.
Martinez, Georgia.
Martinez,
yeah.
Georgia. I sure did.
Wow.
I mean, back when I was in
Got it all
back
screwed
in the
up.
6th grade, we talked about Mexican culture, but they pronounce these Spanish words with English pronunciations, like tortilla chips, because the double
Yeah.
L is an actual letter in Spanish alphabet language.
Yeah.
It sounds like a Y, like a llama would be like a llama, and tortilla. But they said the Aztecs they eat on tortillas
Why can't everybody speak
or tortillas.
Why?
She said tortillas. The Aztecs had their meals on tortillas.
Tortillas.
I wonder
that
if your
sound like
name
a
is really pronounced Barret.
Right.
Barret.
Well, there is a barreto
And a burrito.
in Spanish. Yeah.
All the time. Okay.
Gamer Girl, I have both.
Puta.
Ellen Macon kind of got it right also. I have both to do. Today at 11 o'clock, Elizabeth has her award ceremony for her school and / their barbecue and their fun time thing. We're going to that. And then tonight, she did get a slot to audition for the choir. That's at 5:45 tonight, though.
Mm-hmm.
We have to go to another little shindig at 11. So I got to get out here early because I got to stop at Kroger first. And that's about it for me. One more
All
shot.
right, we're going on break. Let's go on break.
Can we lead with this right here? 'Cause
Get this guy outta
this
here.
is more evident to me, which I've been saying for a couple of years now, that Jack Ellis will win again as mayor. I heard this morning that guess who endorsed Jack Ellis as mayor?
Whoa.
Little Richard. Little Richard, folks, endorsed C. Jack Ellis. Bye. See y'all later.
Well, why doesn't that surprise me? Let's go to break before you run off. Let's
This
go to
is
break.
a morning roast live from the Nut House. 2 hours down, 1 more to go.
Hey, my
see.
birthday's Sunday. I'm out of here. I'll be
Yeah.
44 on Monday. Y'all have a great weekend. Love y'all.
Thank you. Have a good weekend. Good birthday. By any means necessary.
That's right. Terminator exit.
For the first time, we're hearing the 911 tapes of a woman who says she witnessed Tuesday night's in-custody death.
She says she saw everything, and Eyewitness News reporter Tom Murphy listened to the tapes and has more. Tom?
Caitlin, the Kern County Sheriff's Department turned the tapes over to us today. Our first chance to hear what witnesses were saying just moments after David Silva was restrained by several sheriff's deputies. He died shortly after that. Take a listen to the tape.
Kern County Sheriff's Office, how can I help you? Yeah, your police officer is over here on Flowers, and I get it. Tom, what is it, Mom? Tom? There was a man laying on the floor, and your police officers beat the out of him. They killed him.
The caller continued, saying the man had been unconscious, not breathing for at least 20 minutes. The caller says she had videotape from when the sheriffs first pulled up to when she called 911. She added she was right in front of where it all happened, and the sheriffs didn't have to do what they did.
You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sheriffs. The guy was laying on the floor, and 8 sheriffs ran up and started beating him up with sticks. The man is dead, laying right here, right now. And I got everything on videotape. The man was not doing nothing. These cops had no reason to do this to this man.
And he asked for help. He was yelling for help. He was begging for help. No one came because the people that were supposed to help him were the ones killing him.
Animals. That's what they portrayed to be to me because that's what they acted like.
That's how Jason Land describes the deputies he saw Tuesday night.
They jumped out, reached for their bats, poles, whatever you want to call it, beat that man till they killed him. Right in front of my face.
While sheriff's officials investigate a suspect's death in their custody, more questions are raised about what happened after that incident.
A witness we interviewed asks why he was arrested a few hours later, and a family asks why their cell phones were seized. Reporter Carol Ferguson has the latest.
Well, today we talked to the attorney that family hired. That lawyer was also contacted by the eyewitness we heard from yesterday. This all happened across from Kern Medical Center at about midnight on Tuesday. Officers say the suspect was reportedly intoxicated and he fought with the officers. They used batons to restrain him and he died later. 2 family members got cell phone video and detectives arrived at their home a few hours later demanding the phone. Attorney John Teo says protocols must be followed. He questions why it took so long to get a search warrant and keeping the family in their home for hours till the search warrant arrived. Melissa Cuellar says her family wants the video to be available, and that's what they told officers.
We told them we weren't going to give them our phone. And they told us that it was evidence, and pretty much my house was a crime scene because we had the evidence.
I think they felt that they could intimidate these people in giving them their phones without the search warrant. And now they're holding the phones, and there's no reason to.
What are we supposed to do when we're witnessing a sheriff, police officer, whoever it may be that's, works with the law, committing a crime like this, man? Who do we call?
He called Eyewitness News. Even before being interviewed, Jason said he was afraid of going on camera. After speaking up, he said he felt like he was being followed by deputies. He couldn't stop thinking about what he'd seen Tuesday night.
So what are they going to do to me? They do the same to me. I ran.
He said he ran to the nearest friend he could find, who drove him to the hospital.
If I wouldn't have said nothing, I wouldn't be in cuffs. But since I said something, I'm in cuffs.
The 31-year-old who's on felony probation for domestic violence says he was arrested for being under the influence of PCP.
Under the influence of PCP, no chance, no nothing. I was not under the influence of anything. I was scared for my life. I was paranoid.
Now he says he's being targeted.
I believe I'm going to be targeted for the rest of my life.
Land was released today and says he'll go home to his family.
I'm hiding. That's what I'm going to do. I don't trust outside. When the people that's supposed to protect me for people that do that without badges, the badges will do it too. Good. Can't do it.
He thinks there should be some consequences.
They deserve this. They don't deserve death, because I'm not God. I don't believe anybody deserves to die. But to be taken away to where they won't be able to do that again to anybody, they got the wrong one and cut.
Jason also said that he felt like there was an extended period of time between when he saw the man beat up and when the ambulances ultimately arrived. In studio, Tom Murphy, Eyewitness News. Caitlin, back to you.
Thanks, Tom. And we have more now on the man who died in custody, David Silva. We heard from his father last night. Today, Eyewitness News reporter Courtney Bryan spoke to Silva's brother. Courtney?
That's right, David Silva's brother, Christopher Silva, is in mourning, but that has not stopped him from speaking out. He said his brother was murdered at the hands of those who should have been fighting to save him. David Silva is survived by 4 children, ranging from ages 2 to 10. They haven't yet learned of their father's death, but when they do, Christopher Silva wants them to hear the right story.
And I don't want them thinking or being told that my brother was just a bum on the street laying face down in the pool of his own blood. He was much more than that, and if anything, I want them to be able to know that their father meant a lot to a lot of people.
Christopher Silva says the memory of his brother will encourage him and his family to fight for justice.
And he asked for help. He was yelling for help. He was begging for help. No one came because the people that were supposed to help him were the ones killing him.
As the coroner's office is conducting an autopsy, the family has not yet been allowed to view the body. Christopher Silva says all he wants is to say goodbye one last time.
All I ask for is to see my brother's body. I want to see what they did to my brother before anything is kind of hot hidden. Before anything is made up. I don't want anyone else to see. Just let me go in there and let me see my brother.
They're afraid to show them the body.
Because it's too mutilated.
Follow that story?
Mm-hmm.
They beat the fuck out of the guy and killed him. Now they don't want nobody to see the body.
Yeah, that was one of the stories that you sent me earlier this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we just had like a whole bunch of stories that were just backed up. We just kept getting because we got caught up in some of the talks and stuff.
It's going to show you the way the United States is getting.
Oh yeah.
You want to take your guns away?
Yeah, well, it has always been that way. You just happen to didn't have 24-hour news coverage for it, Well, we're back.
We're back.
This is the third hour of the Morning Rose. We're into the home stretch. This is DB with Irv and Ed. Ed had to go, he had to go
do his family thing.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to go right into this story about this internet celebrity Kai guy.
Yeah, Kai, the hatchet-wielding hitchhiker.
Okay, now, I remember seeing him, but I don't remember what story he was involved with, where he came out, he was on a bike, he tried to help out somebody. What the hell was that all about?
Well, it says in Haddonfield, New Jersey, it says a homeless hatchet-wielding hitchhiker who became an internet hero earlier this year was arrested Thursday, I guess yesterday, after allegedly beating a New Jersey lawyer to death inside his home. Caleb Kai McGivery was arrested at the Greyhound bus terminal near 11th and Filbert by Philadelphia police. He says, I believe that everyone is a little safer with this person off the streets, the prosecutor said. Philadelphia police could not immediately be reached for comment. McGivery was charged with killing Joseph Galfy Jr., a Clark, New Jersey attorney found dead on Monday. Ramankana said he will be processed and sent back to New Jersey, where his bail is set at $3 million. Galfy, age 73, was found wearing only his underwear and socks by police who went to his home to check his well-being. McGivery met Galfy on Saturday in Times Square, then spent the last 2 nights at his home in a cul-de-sac in Clark, a quiet community 20 miles west of New York, Romankow said. His movements after that included 2 trips to meet a fan in Asbury Park, a trip to Philadelphia, and another to Glassboro in southern New Jersey before he took a train bound for Philadelphia, authorities said. Statements posted on McGivery's Facebook page following the homicide indicated the counter was sexual in nature, Romankow said, though he declined to go into specific detail. Yes.
See, that's where I saw him. I saw him with the backpack and a bike. And I just don't remember what the hell the story was about initially when I first saw him doing that.
Right.
I thought he was a little wacko. There it is. I thought he was a little bit wacko, so during the time, what was it?
Well,
what was the main reason why he became a sensation?
Well, according to this, basically a hatchet gave McGivery a brief taste of fame in February when he gave a rambling, profanity-laced 5-minute interview to a Fresno, California TV program about thwarting an attack of a Pacific Gas Electric employee. He was I guess he was being attacked by someone, and the interview went viral, and with one version viewed more than 3.9 million times on YouTube. He later appeared on ABC's Jimmy Kimmel Live, and Kimmel asked him what people were saying to him since the February 1st incident. Says, "Hey, you're Kai, the dude with a hatchet," he responded, as McGivery said. And basically, he was riding in a car with a man who veered into the worker and started attacking. McGivery said he pulled a hatchet from his backpack and struck the driver in the head several times to subdue him. And he said the woman was in danger. He just finished what looked like at the time killing somebody, and if he hadn't done that, he would have killed more people. And it says last month the driver entered the plea and now guilty by reason of insanity, according to the Fresno's Bee. So a man starts beating up this woman who he calls his. Gilbert told the television station, "I smashed him in the head and the teeth." Yeah.
Yeah, he rescued. That's right, Chief Fox. You're absolutely right. I remember now the story. He rescued 2 people by attacking a person who was assaulting him with a hatchet.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it was. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that makes him Kai Dai Killer. Okay.
How awesome is that?
Well, my brother says he had mental issues. So why did they glorify him? Well, it's because, this hero shit. It's the same thing that happened with these 3 girls that were kidnapped for 10 years, right?
Right.
They had that black guy Ramsey going on television saying that he was a hero, when in fact, we found out later on, that it was some Dominican guy who couldn't even speak English.
Well, he was one of the heroes. He wasn't the only hero. Charles Ramsey, he was one of them. He wasn't the sole.
Well, right, but Charles, Ramsey guy showed up after the girl was on the phone, according to this guy, after she was calling the police, and that in fact he wasn't the one that pulled the door from the bottom. That he was not the one. He had shown up afterwards. That the girl was at the door already. Actually, she was outside the door with the police on the phone when Ramsey showed up.
Yeah.
And then Ramsey made it seem like he was the hero, when in fact it was a Spanish guy who could barely speak English. And I think that had to do with the fact that they could understand the black guy more.
Yeah, exactly.
And they can spread that. That would make better play on television than some Spanish guy who could barely speak a lick of English or no English whatsoever.
Right.
And he has to have another interpreter there in front of him. It just didn't look as good as Ramsey rambling off and having all these wonderful sayings that he was saying. And I think I'm telling you, I think it was just old bogus reporting. You know, everybody twisted, everybody McDonald's.
Not bogus. It was just lazy reporting because people don't. Well, not that many Americans take foreign language. I mean, they take it as a prerequisite, you know, just to graduate from high school or whatever. But they don't get to use it in everyday life. Many of them who do take a certain language, some rarely use it, you know, outside of school. I mean, they just get it just to get the grades so they'll be able to graduate and go about their business.
Yeah.
I just, you know, unfortunately, you know, I mean, if we were more fluent in more multilingual, it wouldn't be the case. You would be able to have that guy, Dominican guy, as well as Charles Ramsey, you know, both of them being interviewed, you know. So,
wow. Well, a gamer girl sent me his Facebook page over here. I guess now's not the time for me to like his page.
Obviously, yeah.
But he's got a lot of time on here.
Yeah, he has a Facebook
Kai,
page.
the home free hitchhiker.
Yes.
And okay, somebody mentioned something. After living through all the abuse he claims to have had, a person would think that he would have a better judge of character, or at least know how to avoid these situations. Another one says, Blonde Dex Get says, oh my God, please say it isn't so. Kai does not strike me as a heavy drug user, a pothead for sure, but not really into heavy drugs. He seems to be a mixed up young man, a person who had really hard abusive childhood. And I'm hoping he wasn't altogether guilty, that there is more to the story.
Yeah,
this is on his Facebook page.
It's a really dirty situation. But speaking of dirty, I got a story from Ed that says that 3 gynecologists were fined for disinfecting equipment and dishwasher. It says that
I heard about that.
Yes, last week 3 gynecologists from Lewis Gale Physicians in Salem, Virginia, were fined $1,000 each by the Virginia Board of Medicine for using a consumer dishwasher to clean medical instruments. Lewis Gale released a statement defending the 3 gynecologists, claiming that the physicians felt they were in compliance since they were using a generally accepted practice recommended by their medical residency program and by other medical school experts for disinfecting medical instruments. It's worth noting that the dishwasher was used only after the instruments were scrubbed and sprayed with medical grade disinfectant,
along with all the other dishes.
Yeah, it's not uncommon for medical professionals to sanitize their equipment in dishwashers. In fact, most dishwashers are able to reach high enough temperature to completely sanitize instruments. Not surprisingly, though, some folks find this practice discomforting, including the Virginia Board of Medicine. It says the study of the Institute of Environmental Medicine and Hospital Epidemiology found that temperatures of 160 degrees Fahrenheit are adequate for disinfecting medical equipment, and most dishwashers are capable of reaching this temperature. We aren't experts, but we tested a number of models that are capable of hitting that critical threshold. Of course, if you're cleaning medical equipment, we hope that your process involves several stages of disinfection.
Okay, does it explain them? You gonna say something, Ed? Does it explain how to... how do you disinfect them other than what? Hot water, alcohol?
Hydrogen peroxide.
Peroxide. What else?
Those. That's just to name a few.
What about that stuff they used to put in the cones in the old days when it was green and the.
You talking about what? You talking about that blue container, the glass container with that blue water stuff that they have for barbers have to
right?
Sterilize
they
the
used to
cones
sterilize the cones and
okay.
Remember that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a surgeon, so I really don't know. No, I mean, I wish I do know. I just hope I don't have to get any type of surgery done anytime soon.
I don't think it's such a big deal, to be honest, because dishwashers do clean dishes. They do disinfect them to some extent, as much as you can have, I guess.
Right.
I mean, I don't see such a big deal about that. I mean, unless you have a machine that they specify for this kind of equipment to clean. I mean, how else are you going to clean it? Besides what? Putting them in a sink and putting hot water on it and putting soap on it.
That's true. That's very true.
What's it mean, C-Flow? This speculation needs to be autoclaved.
Oh my goodness.
All right, here we go. Morning, Rose.
Yeah, it's Eddie.
Eddie, what's up?
Listen, I was going to say, what kind of doctor are you guys talking about?
Say again?
What kind of doctor are you talking about?
I can't hear you, Ed. I'm sorry. Go ahead, say again.
What kind of doctor are you talking about?
Doc. We were talking about.
We were talking about equipment.
Yeah, the equipment. There was a group of surgeons who were fined $1,000 because they tried to wash their surgical instruments in a dishwasher.
Right, and I'm saying, well, how else would you wash them?
3 gynecologists, yeah.
3 gynecologists. So, I can understand the disgust on that, but, I mean, how else are you going to do, you're going to clean this stuff? I mean, what's the alternative? Do you throw it in a sink with soapy water and hot water and scrub them down with Brillo? I mean, how else would you clean this?
Put them in some Tide or some Clorox or something?
Yeah, I mean, what are you supposed to do? But basic cleaning. And why not put them in a dishwasher when, if you add the right chemicals, I guess your dishes come out pretty much sterile with the heat and everything. I don't understand what the big deal is.
No, I agree with what he did. But Derek made a statement. He doesn't want to get he wouldn't want to get any surgery done by that. And I said, they were gynecologists. What would they do to Derek?
Well, I mean, probably not gynecologists, obviously, because that's feminist stuff. But say if a surgeon used that same type of method to clean, his surgical equipment,
Now, what is an autoclave? Everybody get C-Flow. What the hell is an autoclave? Is that some kind of a special cleaner for this kind of equipment?
Sterilizes medical equipment.
Oh, it does?
Sterilizes.
So what is it, a machine? Is it a machine?
Yeah. It's a device used to sterilize equipment and supplies by subjecting high pressure saturated steam.
I see.
Okay.
I see.
Yes.
I see. Okay. DS Photo Guy, thank you for that. Dentists have transmitted STD to patients.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with Gamer Girl. I wouldn't want anything partially washed and certified in China either.
Yeah. Or any other body part for that matter.
Yeah.
And Uric Wong is true. That said dentists have transmitted STDs to patients because they had dirty, utensils. That's what happened to that one woman who got AIDS from her doctor.
Yeah.
His doctor was, her dentist was HIV positive, and she got it in there because, I guess, through cleaning or something, basically like her gums bled.
Wow.
And I guess that's how she died from it. Because I remember, I'll never forget it, because she got the AIDS virus back in 88, or HIV in 1988, 25 years ago. That's a long time.
Yeah,
and she died at like 2-3 years later, around 91, just about around about the same time Magic Johnson admitted that he was.
Yeah, they probably had no medicine at the time, right? Today's day, it's almost like diabetes.
Yeah.
They take care of it, and you're good to go. Well, that's interesting. Autoclaves. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a name that I've never
heard of. It's definitely very expensive. I'm quite sure. Buka says, I had to get one to clean all my tattooed gun part. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because you involve needles. Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
Urax says the way my dad talks about it is the only real way to sterilize. Okay. very pricey, but at what cost do we let people get infected?
Mm-hmm.
See, folks, very good.
What about the nail techniques who pass along infections and up to including flesh-eating
Oh,
bacteria?
yeah.
You're definitely going to need autoclave for that. That's for sure. Because, you mess with people's nails, the cuticles stuff, and sometimes, they're very sensitive. They can easily
bleed.
Yeah, definitely. No doubt about it.
A lot of these Chinese nail parlors, the women.
Mm-hmm.
When I used to actually get my nails done in New York because I was in the corporate world, and believe me, I used to get them done once a week, and they would put natural polish.
So people that were that, and I don't want to say.
Yeah, the Chinese nail salon.
No, I mean people in corporate America. I mean people actually did.
Oh yeah, they looked at your hands. They looked at everything. Yeah, most of the corporate heads were. Like, they had their nice, clear gloss on their fingernails. Everybody looked good. Now, those in top management. And the employees, they don't give a shit. Okay. But you're talking about, guys that sit in boardrooms and I had the opportunity to do that.
Right.
And believe me, I was out of place. I mean, you had to wear black socks. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to have your nails and your hands had to look good, and it was a really weird culture, but that's the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
In New York.
Gamer Girl says, Steve Flug, the reason why I do not get my nails done because of, I guess, bacteria, flesh-eating bacteria. Yeah, they'll do it. Sabuki says the needles are disposable, but the gun and the tubing that the needles run down need to be cleaned. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my brother says I had to do it for the hotel. That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Although I didn't do it, well, I did do it for the hotel when I was already in top management. That's where the boardroom comes up. And you're sitting there in these meetings and moving papers around. Everyone's staring at you. And if you had ugly nails, believe me, somebody will pick it up.
Okay. Well, that probably would explain why it's kind of expensive. Where my sister, I think she does have an autoclave at her beauty salon, because she has some. I mean, not only she does, she's a hairdresser, but she also hires some people who do nails and feet. So
yeah, Saibuki says half the people that get infected tattoos is because the needles may be new, but the tube they run through still has the last person's tattoo blood that still sat in it.
Ew.
Yeah.
Maybe that's probably a good thing I don't have tattoos.
Well, and let me tell you, tattoo parlors right now, when you go to them, they make sure they stress, we're clean, our stuff is not infected.
Yeah, not just tattoos, but piercings too. I'm sure.
Oh, and tattoo parlors are now doing piercings, and maybe they always did it, but they're really doing it now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this girl at the one that they opened up downtown.
Right.
She said she's going to get horns put in, which means they have to surgically open up her scalp and put it underneath the scalp.
Underneath the skin, yeah.
Yeah, underneath the skin. I mean, that's insane. People are doing that. She's going to have devil horns.
Yeah.
This is the prettiest girl in the world, and she's got all these colors on her now, on her neck, and all. Meanwhile, she has porcelain white skin, like really soft-looking skin. Yeah. And those things stick out like she looks like a newspaper.
Yeah.
And now she wants to put horns on.
I had a question. Well, it's funny you said it, because I remember I was reading it was from a foreign forum message board from blackvent.com, and they were asking this question: will the tat movement finally run its course? The tattoo movement, where people are just getting tattoos left and right, And to a certain extent, I think, hopefully it will. Hopefully it does run its course, because the one person said, I think this guy named Omar says, for the long story short, I don't like tattoos on a woman. I don't think it makes a woman sexier and prettier and more seductive. It just basically just gives more attention to the tattoo rather than her actual beauty, her natural beauty, to a certain extent. And plus, the tattoo isn't, when skin starts to sag or wrinkle, the tattoo is not going to look as sexy as it would, 10, 20 years from now.
Yeah.
So what do you do then?
I don't know. I mean, I find tattoos in specific areas, like on the legs or the thighs or or even the arms, they're okay. It's just when they start putting them on their necks and on their,
on their chest. I mean, they look.
Chest,
I mean, it look like a low grade superhero
on cleavage. It's like it gets a little stupid after a while. I don't know. I would agree. It's not pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I like Sabuki pretty much said it. Well, the Gamer Girl said, I like tats on certain women. It says, Sabuki said, tattoos will always be a part of every society, but will disappear in view again as they go out of favor. Says it's roughly a 60-year cycle.
Yeah, that's about right. I think he's right on that.
Yeah.
Sabuki, you're a tattoo artist, aren't you? You said you have your own equipment.
Yeah, I think that's what he said. Yeah. Gamer Girl said, they must be thin. Says, I think heavyset women with tats tend to look dirty. Ew. Yeah, and Sabuki says, just how I like them. Obviously not the senator. Obviously not the tits and teeth type, right? So,
well, what's the impression you get with a woman with a tattoo? Honestly, let's be honest.
Okay.
You see a woman that has no tattoos. She may be beautiful.
Yeah, really.
And then you see that same woman, beautiful, gorgeous, with tattoos. What's the difference between the two?
Well, the difference is, I mean, obviously, at least for me, it may be different. I think she's obviously trying to get attention or trying to make herself more different than any other woman, like to get your attention, to attract you, or to get some, or at least maybe not to attract a certain person, but just to get attention in general.
Low self-esteem?
Not necessarily, but just basically just to make yourself look more unique, though. But at the same time, if you have a lot of people that get tattoos, you're not really that unique. I mean, how do you make yourself unique when getting a tattoo when there's a whole lot of other people getting tattoos? I mean, not having a tattoo probably makes you more unique than anything else,
Right. Sabuki says, I love to ink women, but not fully body sleeved.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, some of these girls are getting them where,
whole
everywhere on their body. It's just insane.
Yeah, I think that's probably why I haven't seen Betty Wynn on the news lately, because she says that she has a full sleeve tattoo on her arm. She's a news reporter. She used to be on CNN, now on CBS News, but
what was her name? Betty Wynn?
Betty Wynn, yeah. She's half Vietnamese, half Asian.
Yeah.
She's a very beautiful woman, but she says she has to at least take a good 30, 40 minutes just to put makeup on her arm just to cover up her tattoos. And I haven't seen her in a while. I said, I hope she wasn't fired because she had excessive tattoos or anything.
Wow.
I mean, Gamer Girl says Kat Von D is beautiful, which I agree. She is good looking, but she's like the exception to the norm,
Well, Ellen Macon says manly or slutty, Irv.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it depends as far as having tattoos. It depends on where it is and how big or small it is. If it's a small tattoo, like on the shoulder or something, on the back, if it's tiny, if it's not revealing, it's okay. I probably don't have a problem with that. But when you start having it in place where it is revealed, like tattoos on the neck and stuff like that, or on the face, like that Mike Tyson thing, face tattoo, or you have it on your chest, you look like some, low grade bargain basement superhero or some, or / pirate. It's not becoming.
Just sent me some kind of a tattoo. Did you see that?
No,
and it's kind of a little tiger, kind of rolling around like a baby tiger.
Oh, okay.
On his belly. Is that your belly or is that your ass?
Yeah. Okay.
I can see the band of an underwear on there, but I can't tell what part of your body that is.
I mean,
is that your back or
somebody's
back? Yeah. Sabuki, it came from you. Oh, it's my wife's hip.
Oh,
okay. Very good.
Looks like it. Okay. Well, I mean, if it's not revealing to the public or something like that, you might get slide with that. But if it's something that you can actually see, whether you're wearing even if you're not wearing revealing clothing, that's when it really starts to become tacky. When you start getting bat wings and stuff like that on your shoulders and stuff, or when your arm and back start looking like the opening credits of Beach Street or something, like a New York subway and stuff, graffiti.
Yeah, after a while, too much of anything is no good. And by the way,
too much.
Sabuki, did you do that tattoo? Did you do that tattoo, Sabuki? Is that you? I have kept one hand and my face free of tattoos, but everywhere else has a tat, even my butt. Yeah, I have 2 tattoos actually, Edward, now. I got one when I was with you, and I got one when I was married. Okay, I have Speedy Gonzalez on my butt. What's on your butt? Okay, yes, I did that tattoo. Very good. Good. But how come you didn't fill it with color, though? There's no color in it. It's just, it's just beautiful. Outline, beautiful, yeah.
It's well done. I'll give it.
Really well done. But, and let me look at it again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very well done. You cannot.
The stripes and the.
Yeah. The stripes and the expression on the cat and so on, the little nails. But, yes, he did it. Okay. Good job.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks good.
Okay.
I just don't like when it's excessive. That's when it's too much.
Oh yeah, look at it. Look at it fresh. It is beautiful, fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at that. Very nice.
Says there are more cats to add in color.
Yeah, wow. And I can see it's a hippo. She has a rose on her lower thigh there.
Mm-hmm.
You're starting to reveal a little too much for me here. Anyway, there are more cats to add and color. Some people have a dollar tattooed on their weenie.
Yeah.
Really? I don't think I would ever want a tattoo on my weenie.
Yeah, that's
not much to write on.
Way too risky.
Mrs. Buki is hot, Gamer Girl said. She has more tattoos than me.
Wow.
Okay. How about a fly? My Edward Mampa. My brother Edward's got quite a few, but he always, I think he kept them mostly in his arms. I'm not sure if he has it on his back. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly on his arms. I was there for a couple of his tattoo visits. So they can watch their money grow. I don't get it.
Okay.
You're right. What do you mean by that? My back has one and my neck. Oh, okay. That was probably after we had been hanging around, because mostly they were on his arms. And LOL, yeah, cat.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, tattoos is the subject. Some people like them, some people don't.
Yeah, you can take them or leave it. The thing is, I just don't. I try to have a minimal, at least probably a minimum of much. I mean, maybe like 1 or less, or maybe 2 or less, or something like that. Anything else, I guess, bigger than your own hand, that's like, I think that's probably way too much. At least on a woman's body.
I get it now, you're right. You said so they can wash their money grow, the dollar on a pee-pee. I get it. That's funny.
Wow. That's something to think about.
The fact that you would even think that out is funny as hell.
Well, speaking of exposure,
yeah,
there's a story of
I get it now. You're right.
Boys to shower with girls in California public schools. A story that is like, wow. So the parents, how would you feel if you found out that your junior or senior high school daughter was showering with a boy at school?
You talk about pregnancy rates going up.
Then how would you feel if you were told by the school there was nothing that they or you can do about it?
Well, wait a minute. They're going to shower together?
Well, according to this story right here, according to this, says last week the California Assembly, same as the House of Representatives in most states, passed Assembly Bill 1266 by a 46-25 vote. Currently, there are 54 Democrats, 25 Republicans, and 1 vacancy. All 46 votes for the bill were Democrats, and no Republicans voted in favor of the measure. AB 1266 states that public schools cannot discriminate in any way concerning the sex of the student. Both sexes are to have equal access to all offered courses, counseling, and athletics. Any student can try for any sport regardless of their sex, and I guess that also means using the showers as well.
This is crazy. I don't get it.
So basically, if you go for a sport in California, or at least in high school,
they have them showering at the same time.
I guess according to this, The kicker is a statement in this bill which says Section 1, Section 221.5 of the Education Code is amended to read, a pupil shall be permitted to participate in sex-segregated school programs and facilities, including athletic teams and competitions, and use facilities consistent with his or her gender identity, irrespective of the gender listed on the pupil's record. So if there's, a girl in the shower and there's a whole bunch of guys there, or there's one guy in a shower full of women, then he or she cannot be denied to take a shower. After,
Well, you're going to have all the perverts out there.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. It says, in other words, any boy who claims he is a girl, even though he is anatomically still a boy, would be allowed to use the same locker rooms and showers that the girls use. On the opposite side, a girl claiming to be a boy but is still anatomically a girl would be allowed to shower with all the boys. They don't even have to be undergoing any form of sex change therapy. Just say they're the opposite sex from what they really are, and they can parade around in all their glory in either locker room or shower.
Wow.
And it says, wouldn't it surprise you to learn that the bill's author, Assemblyman Tom Amiano, is a Democrat and homosexual from San Francisco. He is also heavily involved in LGBT activist groups. In 1975, Amiano...
They're all soaping each other up.
Yeah. In 1975, Amiano became the first public school teacher in San Francisco to publicly out himself that he was gay. In some warped sense of logic, Amiano believes that this bill doesn't violate or pose a problem to anyone else's rights. Defending his gay bill, he said, there's no trampling of other people's rights. There's a recognition that other people have the same rights that you do. It's also important to protect our children from prejudice.
So let's throw them all together, take showers together, and everybody live happily ever after.
Yeah. So what do you think about this? This story is from Political
Outcast.
Outcast.
I mean, look. On one end, it's kind of like, I wouldn't mind it, But on the other end, isn't this kind of dangerous in some weird way? I mean, you have the girl with the biggest boobs in the class coming in, and you have all the guys, all the jocks there, and the girl who everybody looks at, which there's always that girl with the big boobs.
Or the guy with a 14-inch schlong,
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, I never found those. But, no, serious. You think about that for a minute. Isn't that setting up for... Yeah, rape, sex, and pregnancy.
Yeah, the whole night.
Exactly,
yeah.
That's my point.
No doubt. I mean, even though it's somewhat...
sexual romps. Yeah. And then, of course, the teachers will come in and join them, because so many teachers now are going to jail they're going to love it.
Yeah, especially since a good number of them are women, though, but they rarely... they rarely go to jail. But as Yurik says, the problem with that is when you have two members of the same sex who are gay, you can shower together, but with the others being of the other sex. So, yeah, you could have basically co-ed showers. Kind of like when...
Yeah, but the guy has to be gay in order to shower with the girls?
Oh, no.
Is that what you're saying, Yurik?
It's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird situation, which I don't understand, because so many people think because if you're gay and you could touch and fondle somebody, it's all right. Like I don't remember what was it, Yitzhak Mizrahi. He's some type of fashion designer or something like that. He was on the red carpet with Scarlett Johansson, who was a really curvy woman, and he basically just fondled her breasts, live on camera. And I'm trying to figure out how the hell he did that. He just basically did it, and a lot of women just let that go because, well, I'm gay, I don't really, it doesn't affect me. But the thing is, if it doesn't affect you, why are you going to do it anyway? That's like saying, just like a cat burglar says, I'm a kleptomaniac, but I don't really mean to steal. Like, gee, well, why are you stealing?
Yeah.
If it doesn't affect you, why are you doing it anyway?
Yeah, you're right, saying they are talking about the separated locker rooms. They want to let gays or a person who thinks they identify with the other sex.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what they're talking about in the story, maybe you should go back and read it, is they're going to allow gay people to shower with girls.
Basically saying this bill is not equal rights for gays, it's about privilege. It says there's no trampling of other people's rights. There's recognition that other people have the same rights as you do, which basically means It doesn't matter if you're a homosexual or not. It's just basically.
So it's not about being a homosexual, and because you are, they're going to allow you to go into a girl.
It is basically co-ed showers. It's kind of like, well, my senior year, when I was going to UG, I was living at Russell Hall, and it was like 1,000 people strong. 1,000 people strong. 1,000 people lived there. And I lived there, the majority of my college life. And my senior year, they made it co-ed. Like I lived on the 10th floor, the females lived on the 9th floor, then the men were on the 8th, and like women were the 7th, and so on and so forth. Now I found out that now women could live on the same floor with the guys now, and we had like 3 different wings on the 10th floor. We had 1, 2, 3, west, north, and east, and it was kind of. I mean, it was already co-ed, but now you have like women living on the same, wing as the guys, like, and I don't know. It was already cohabitation going on back my senior before it was, co-ed, but now, my goodness, if they had women living on the same floor as I was back when I was a freshman, I would have turned into freaking Caligula. Jeez.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah, well, your mind lives in the world of Caligula.
I'm just trying to picture how you would be now if that happened.
I conquer this in the name of Rome.
Yeah, I see. Well, you know what? We got to move on because we still have Wordsmith, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have to talk about our daily bread.
Oh yeah, definitely. I also want to talk about some sports too. The San Antonio Spurs last night defeated the Golden State Warriors 94-82. They beat them. They beat the Golden State Warriors 4-2. So now they're going to the NBA. I think NBA Finals.
Great.
So whoever they're going to be playing, whoever goes against Miami Heat or between the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers. Indiana Pacers.
All right, guys, while he's finishing the story up, we need some numbers here. Page 1 through 500, let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And 1 through 6.
Yes.
Just in case.
Yeah, the Indiana Pacers, the Indiana Pacers lost to the New York Knicks 75-85, so they're still in the running in the Eastern Conference. So whoever wins between the Knicks and the Pacers, they have to play against the Miami Heat for the Eastern Conference Finals, and whoever's the winner of that have to play against the San Antonio Spurs for the NBA Championship Finals.
Okay.
So I did have another sports story. There was this guy. He's a local guy. He's a local guy. Dick Trickle. Yes.
The racer.
Yeah, the racer.
Oh, by the way, Tara London saying, ha ha ha, you guys suck.
Oh, that must be Ant.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
Ant.
Cut down on the window cleaner, okay?
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, the toilet bowl cleaner.
Toilet bowl cleaner. Yes. Concord, North Carolina. There, Dick Trickle, ex-car driver, is dead at age 71. Trickle, whose larger-than-life personality and penchant for fun won him legions of fans despite a lack of success beyond the nation's small tracks, died of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound, authorities said. He was 71 years old. He was the Trickle earned his reputation as a successful short track race car driver before joining the Winston Cup Series and earning him Rookie of the Year in 1989 at the age of 48. So he was the oldest guy to win the Rookie of the Year crown in the Winston Cup Series. He competed in more than 300 Cup races, although he never won a Cup race. He won only 2 Busch Series races. Trickle earned cult status in the 1990s.
Doesn't that suck? You work your whole life to try to get something, you never get it.
Yeah.
That happened to somebody in the Knicks. What was his name? He never got a ring.
Oh, talking about Patrick Ewing?
Yeah, Patrick Ewing. He ended his career without a ring.
Yeah, that is kind of sad though. But he did, well, I mean, it wasn't totally empty. I mean, he had a good career. He did have a good career, at least from college, before he went to the...
Right. Well,
he won the national championship. Yeah.
You go to college, you go to the professionals. That's where you want to make your mark.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, he was on two Olympic teams. He was on the 1984 Olympic basketball team, Patrick, along with Michael Jordan.
Right.
And again with Michael Jordan in 1992, the Dream Team, Olympic U.S. Olympic team, basketball team, and won another gold medal. So he has 2 gold medals and a national championship. Granted, he went to the NBA playoffs, but never made it quite there.
And Anthony, Tyler London wants me to look at you and say, "What up, E?" The joke will sink in a minute. What do you mean? By the way, here are the pages if you want to start looking up and get ourselves ready.
Okay.
Tyler London hit 123, and Gamer Girl came in second with number 4. 123.4.
Okay.
Let's see what the hell that word has to tell us today.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Does it fit?
I don't know if it fits, but I guess maybe in a way it does. Calander.
Yeah.
Calander. This is a...
Tyler London, you're giving me calanders.
The word calander is the word of the day. It says calander probably comes ultimately from the Latin colum, sieve, C-O-L-U-M. From this was derived the word colare, strain, which produced the vulgar Latin noun collator. This was assumed to have passed into Old Provençal as collador, which appears to have been the source of early English forms of collador and collatra. The N is purely an English innovation. So the word is colander. It's something.
Is it colander?
Colander, yes. Used to strain food. So basically,
that's a colander.
Yes, we've
colander. That's funny.
I'm sorry.
Don't be shy. My sister used to drive me from my house to Long Island, and we always pass a restaurant up on the highway, and I would always look at it and say Palachi. Mm-hmm. Well, it was Palace.
Yeah.
But my whole freaking life, I thought this place was called Palachi. Colander. Maybe that's what they should have called it.
Like putting spaghetti in a colander and letting the water drain. Yeah. I matter of fact, I had some spaghetti last week. It was really good.
Oh, by the way, Uriah Wildcat says, yes, that is how I say it. What, colander or colander?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well.
Yes, also had those...
The crap that we talk about, who cares?
Okay.
I have to go use a strainer. That's the word I use. Strainer. My car.
I have 2 stories, a good one and a bad one. I'll start with the sad one, so we'll go off on a good note. A candlelight vigil was held Thursday night to remember the 2 children who investigators say were shot and killed by their mother in Pickens County in South Carolina. Over 100 people came together in Dacquesville Elementary School to honor Carly and Sawyer Simpson at the Dacquesville Elementary School. They sang songs, listened to Bible verses, and even lit candles to honor the young children. By 5 p.m., a large flower memorial had been set up at the school. The sheriff's office says their mother, Suzanne Simpson, shot them multiple times in their beds. Deputies say that she turned the gun on her husband, Michael. He's still in critical condition. Investigators found Susanna Simpson down on the road in a red car. She's also in the hospital, listed in fair condition. So,
who is this?
A woman who shot her husband and her kids. She murdered her kids, but her husband is still alive. So, thoughts go out to the families who suffered and the husband who's still, I guess, hanging on. But I do have one good story.
Good.
Well, you know that movies are coming out. There's Star Trek is coming out this weekend, as well as Fast and Furious 6. And it's also something about daytime television. It says CBS Daytime Diversity Initiative is seeking actors of color for daytime dramas. The vice president of casting at CBS Television accepting submissions from diverse talent, specifically actors of color, to participate in the CBS Diversity Institute and Casting Program. It's an extension of CBS Diversity's ongoing talent showcase initiatives. Talent candidates will be pre-screened by the casting executives at CBS, who subsequently the casting directors for the daytime soaps Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful will audition the actors on a regular basis for various roles on the shows. Diverse actors of color can submit a headshot and resume directly at the VP of Casting at CBS Television for consideration of Daytime Diversity Initiative Program. Talent must be at least 18 years of age, and older as of June 2003.
And look like Brad Pitt, because those guys don't look like Don Cheadle and Danny Glover. Yeah. Those guys are gorgeous.
More like Boris
than they are
Kojo.
black.
Probably
This is
Boris
bullshit.
Kojo.
Look at those guys. I mean, who's not going to like looking at that? I'm talking about real actors that look like real people.
So basically you're saying real black.
That looks like a black Ken doll. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. Actors that you want to you look at and you get all salivated over, they're not going to take a, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a Don Cheadle or even a Wesley Snipes. I mean, they're talking...
Yaphet Kotto.
That they would have been the
Idris Elba,
would have been the house slave. Okay.
You're talking about the Idris Elba, the British black guy.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, of course we know that this is Sunday will be Anthony's birthday, May 19th. He'll also share the same birthday as Malcolm X. So have a good birthday by any means necessary. Terminator exit. Yes. Also, by the way, on your birthday, if you're able to get it on pay-per-view, Anthony, you know they have WWE's Extreme Wrestling match.
Yes.
The Hell in a Cell Cage match between Ryback and John Cena. You can't see me.
Well, Tao Lunda says, yes, I leave and I still want it to be all about me. Have a great weekend, everyone. And on behalf of the guys, thanks for the support. Remember Slim Sims?
Yes.
Which will only agitate the shit out of the police officer and have you thrown in jail because they don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, Gamer Girl, I'm done with the fake sports and stuff. I'm just saying, just want to say if anyone has pay-per-view, it's going to be playing. Also, by the way, it's also the Cannes Film Festival has been going on this week in Cannes, France. We had a couple of entries that Anthony put in. It was You're My What, that was done by Neil Calabro, that we acted in, and also Anthony's Nick Chopper and the 40 Wolves. We both sent them, but they rejected it. So I kind of feel kind of bad about it, but maybe they'll have something next year. But on Entertainment Tonight, they did say that maybe they had a little dirty secret. Maybe the one reason why we probably our films were too kid friendly, because they were talking about how they fly in some call girls from different countries, from Sweden and Russia.
You mean a bunch of whores?
Yeah, Venezuela to I guess to entertain.
Well, they
some of them make up to 40
they even
grand
up
a
the
night.
name whore.
Yeah,
they call them call girls now.
Yeah, 40 grand a night. Sheesh. I wish I had a job that made 40 grand a night. Lucky hoes.
Sure, for 40
anyway,
grand a night, I want.
But you got your.
I got my daily bread. How do we segue from what we just talked about? I know.
Yes.
God help us.
Yes.
But we don't know what we're saying. Okay, here we go.
Just be good.
This one was written by Ann Cedars for today, May 17, 2013. God's Strong Arm. My friend Joanne had a strong desire to become a concert pianist and to travel and perform as others, as either a soloist or as a piano accompanist. While majoring in piano performance in college, she developed tendinitis in her right arm, and it became too weak to perform the solo recital that was required. Oh man, talk about. She graduated with a degree in music history and literature instead. She knew Jesus as her Savior, but she had been rebelling against him for several years. Then, through further difficult circumstances, she sensed the Lord reaching out to her, and she turned back to him. Eventually, her arm grew stronger, and a dream of traveling and performing came about. She said, now I could play to God's glory instead of my own. His outstretched arm restored my spiritual life and the strength in my arm to enable me to serve him with the gift he gave me. God, the Lord, promised Moses that his outstretched arm will rescue the Israelites from bondage in Egypt, Exodus 6:6. He kept the promise even though his often rebellious people doubted. Verse 14, 30 through 31, God's mighty arm is outstretched for us as well. No matter the outcome of our situation, he can be trusted to bring about his will for each of his children. Who can depend on God's strong arm? What a fellowship. This is one of my favorite songs, by the way. What a fellowship, what a joy divine, leaning on his everlasting arms. Oh, how bright the path grows from day to day, leaning on his everlasting arms.
By Hoffman. Right?
By Hoffman. And with God's strength behind you and his arms beneath you, you can face whatever lies ahead of you. And then finally, I will redeem you in the outstretched arm. Exodus 6:6. There you have it.
There you go. Want to give a shout out to all of our viewers: Shaibuki, Edward Mappa, Gecko Lizard, Winchester 9708, Yurik Wildcat, Gamer Girl, Ellen Macon, Tower of London. That's both of yous. Acid DJ, Seaflu, Clutch Cargo, Mahari Nutsak, and Strange Place. Also, Donnie, DC Curry, and Eve Plastic Canvas, who was here earlier, and also Three Bears. Thank you for listening to us. Also, I want to give a happy birthday to Ann, and also he said that Pete Townsend's birthday is this weekend, and then what other birthday you were saying? Some Chris Nyland. Yeah, Chris Nyland.
Yes, Chris Nyland.
Yeah. Also, also give a happy birthday since it's 17th Saturday. Today is Bob Saget from America's Funniest Home Videos and Full House Daddy's 57. Nikki Reed, the actress who played Rosalie in the Twilight Saga. Matt Ryan, the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons since 2008. He's 28 years old today. And also Craig Ferguson, who has the Late Late Show after David Letterman. He's from Scotland. He turned 51 today. And Tony Parker, Ava Longoria's ex-husband, point guard for the San Antonio Spurs. Dude, you're an idiot for divorcing that fine woman. Anyway,
Tower of London, listen, I know your birthday's on Sunday. We better hang out. Let's hang out. Even though we don't have no money, I'm sure I could get somebody to splurge.
You're right. And I forgot, Trent Reznor. He's age 48. He turns 48 today. He's the front man for the group Nine Inch Nails, who wrote music for films Natural Born Killers and The Social Network. And also, can't forget Sugar Ray Leonard, Olympic champion boxer who dominant prize fighter of the 80s. He turns 57 years old today.
Well, one other thing. Hey, guys, Yurak Wildcat is having a show. Make sure you guys encourage each other with your own shows. Come up with one. Gamer Girl's got a great one. Donnie Curry. And now Yurak has joined the show business here. Mm-hmm. And make sure that we all visit their sites and say hello. It's all good. Anthony, don't forget, we want to celebrate. I do. Anyway, hang around during your birthday. Yes. Love you guys.
Take care. We'll see you Monday.
Have a great weekend.
All right.